My own fireball spell suddenly became sentient, not only awakening self-awareness but also scolding you as a good-for-nothing mage. In order to become stronger, he actually chose to leave home directly, planning to level up on his own. He thought you would cry and beg him to stay, but he didn't expect you to be so happy. Your mother is the head of the largest magic potion group indoors. Your dad is the city defense commander known as the Mad War God. Isn't it nice to be a carefree rich second generation and just chill? However, what you never expected was that in just 1 hour, your panel frantically popped up with various notifications. Your skill, Fireball, has arrived at Qingqing Grassland in the southern suburbs of Zhanghai City after a long journey. Warning, enemies ahead. Discovering a level 1 green-skinned rabbit eating herbs, Fireball sneered, "This kind of stuff dares to respect me? Are you kidding me?" The next second, Fireball attacked in anger, accurately hitting the green-skinned rabbit's front teeth. Successfully killed. Surprise value +5, skill proficiency +1. However, Fireball felt very dissatisfied. He believes that the surprise value provided by this low-level monster is simply an insult to his noble status. He is accelerating his search for stronger opponents. He is roaring, "I want to fight 10. Looking at the lines of battle records on the panel, you have fallen into contemplation. This means that although Fireball seems to have left home, it still belongs to your own skill system. Haha, sitting at home. Surprise value keeps adding up. As long as the skill is good enough, you can even lie in bed and sleep. Your level and skill proficiency are increasing rapidly. The most outrageous thing is that the skill even has its own brain. It's better at fighting monsters than you, the master." Thinking of this, you comfortably lean back. You raised your pillow a little, intending to continue chilling and watching the show, but you didn't expect the following system information. Actually made you dumbfounded. This works too. You suddenly sat up from the bed. Multiple burst Fireball is only a beginner skill, but it involves elemental splitting and secondary detonation techniques. Even a flame mage who specializes in fire skills cannot comprehend it successfully in one go, let alone a blank slate mage like yourself. This is simply too OP. You can't help but think, if it continues to develop according to this trend, when you reach level 10 and can learn the second basic skill, if you learn Water Arrow, will it also dislike its weak power and evolve itself into a tsunami? If you learn Earth Shield, will it think it's not hard enough and evolve itself into absolute defense? If all the elemental skills are so good, then wouldn't you, this so-called blank slate mage, become an all-element forbidden spell mage god? Thinking of this, you gasped. This is the rhythm of lying down and becoming a god, and the following system message made you laugh and cry. Fireball spell thinks that the monsters in the crisp grassland are too weak and is going to the higher level area, gloomy secret realm. Leave a message for you to go to sleep. Don't make a fuss and disturb my operation. Looking at this domineering message, you are completely relieved. Okay, since the skill is working so hard, how can I hold back? As you said, you yawned, adjusted to the most comfortable position, and woke up. It was the next morning. You opened your eyes beautifully and stretched. This sleep was especially sweet. You subconsciously opened the job panel, but saw a scene that shocked you. Damn, it's really level 3. Leveling up in this world is not an easy task. Even a genius in a wealthy family can only rush to LV3 on the first day under the leadership of an entire team. And yourself? You slept and did nothing, and you went directly to LV3. And the experience bar has increased by 25%. Is this the charm of fully automatic AFK? However, the information in the last column of the panel brought you back to reality. I'm exhausted. Who is that? Hurry up and get me some fire elemental food, or I'll go on strike. Looking at this somewhat grumpy message, you weren't angry either. After all, you have to take medicine when the blue bar is gone, let alone he is still helping you level up. So you immediately went to the restaurant below to find food that could replenish fire elements, but you ran into your father and mother. Mother Su-Wan wanted to comfort you that you would be a blank mage for the rest of your life, but she didn't expect that as a holy high priest, she found something wrong with you from your body. The aura on your body. You said you would stay at home and be a second-generation rich, and you secretly ran out to practice in the middle of the night? Father Lin Tianhao was also shocked. His eyes almost popped out. Faced with the shocked eyes of the two elders, you felt a thump in your heart. It's bad. You were so happy that you forgot how to explain it. Could it be that the skill ran out to kill monsters by itself? Just when you were thinking about how to defend yourself, the two elders suddenly had red eyes. Look, who said that my Moor is lazy? This child is so sensible that it hurts. He says he wants to live off his parents, but he stays up all night to practice in secret just so we don't worry. As for why you can reach LV3 overnight, the two elders also use the habit of elders. The son usually gives a lot of pocket money, and he must have spent money to hire several high-level professionals to practice with him. Although it is extravagant, it is for the Lin family. Is that even a thing? Good boy. Lin Tianhao moved, patted your shoulder. Having this intention, Dad is satisfied. Since you want to train, Dad will fully support you. After speaking, Lin Tianhao waved his hand and shouted towards the door. Hongyu. As soon as he finished speaking, a heroic voice pushed the door open and entered. Since you are determined to level up, then don't go secretly. It's not safe. After dinner, let Hongyu take you to the wild. Practice however you want, safety first. Look, you know her. This person can be considered an acquaintance. She is Dad's loyal subordinate. Her strength is not bad. Alas, it seems this wilderness. I still have to go. I wanted to sit down and have breakfast first, but suddenly I thought of the little fireball's message. Mom, today's breakfast. Do you have something with a rich fire element, like flame fruit or blazing tenderloin? Su Wan was stunned when she heard this, and the gratification on her face became even stronger. Presumably, her son is lacking fire element affinity and wants to make up for it through food. Although this method is inferior to talent, it can only be considered a drop in the bucket. But this wolfishness and ambition are too rare. Of course, there is. Su Wan immediately turned her head and instructed the housekeeper, "Quick! Bring that box of magma red heart fruit, and also the tenderloin of the blaze rhinoceros that just arrived yesterday. Have the kitchen pan fry it immediately, as long as Moore is willing to eat, even if it's the liver of a fire dragon in the sky. Mom will get you a bowl." 10 minutes later, plates of valuable food placed in front of you. The rich fire element aura made Yi Hongyu, who was standing aside, because the value of this breakfast alone is equivalent to the annual expenses of an ordinary family. And you are not polite. Pick up a magma red heart fruit and throw it into your mouth with a boom. A warm current entered. The skill tree label of the little fireball instantly became restless. Fireball technique roared, "Great, this is the taste. I feel full of power. Where are those damned monsters? Quickly let me out." Hearing this, your hand that was cutting the steak stewed for a bit. This little flame is too violent. But the fireball tree expressed disdain. "City scheming can't be eaten. Stop talking nonsense. Quickly take me to the wilderness. My broadsword is already unbearable. The fireball tree is fully charged. I and Hongyu have already arrived. Dark secret." Yi Hongyu walked while skillfully drawing 2 daggers with a cold gleam. "Young master, in order to ensure your practice efficiency, I won't team up with you. After all, teaming up will divide your experience. My plan is, I will be responsible for hiding monsters and controlling them, and bring the monsters to near-death state. The final blow will be completed by you. This way you can exclusively enjoy 100% of the experience points." He thought you would choose to solo, but didn't expect you to agree so readily. Soon after, the two arrived at the activity area of the Shadow Wolf. Although this kind of monster is level 3, it is known for its speed and agility, and is extremely difficult to deal with. However, Yi Hongyu didn't say anything useless, and dashed out with a sharp arrow step. The dagger in her hand in the air slipped out a stern cold light. The next moment, the one pouncing in mid-air. The Shadow Wolf let out a scream, and then fell heavily to the ground. Although it didn't die, but it was also extremely embarrassed. "Young master, take this opportunity. You understood." An orange-red fireball roared out from your palm. But just at the moment the fireball shot out, as expected of a Shadow Wolf known for its agility, despite being seriously injured, but it still rolled to the right using the talent skill Shadow Flicker. This roll happened to avoid the fireball's original flight trajectory. Yi Hongyu's sword heart trembled. Crap, it missed. Is it still not possible after all? The fireball spell of a blank mage has too straight a trajectory to deal with such sudden transformations. He was preparing to strike a finishing blow to prevent this wolf from threatening the young master's life, but in the next second, Yi Hongyu's eyes widened instantly, as if she had seen something. Unbelievable scene. Directly that fireball that had already missed, after brushing past the Shadow Wolf, suddenly made an emergency stop. Then, the fireball forcibly reversed its direction. Came a Yoshing U-turn and went straight to with the Shadow Wolf. The fireball technique relentlessly expressed. "How dare you hide? Did I let you hide? Go to hell." The next second, the rotating fireball struck the Shadow Wolf with incredible precision. The Shadow Wolf, already low on health, was directly blown apart by the fireball, flesh and blood flying everywhere. At this moment, even Yi Hongyu on the side was completely stunned. This is actually Stage 2 mental guidance. You must know. Although Stage 2 mental guidance isn't considered that profound a technique, it still requires high-level mages to perform such intricate mental manipulation. And the main point is, young master only awakened yesterday, a newbie mage with less than 24 hours since job change. He can actually forcibly alter the skill's trajectory purely with mental power. No wonder young master didn't even glance at this high-agility shadow wolf, and was even too lazy to move. Is this the confidence of a strong person? Seeing Yi Hongyu staring blankly at you, you couldn't help but ask, "What's wrong? What are you spacing out for? Quick, next one." Yi Hongyu forcibly suppressed the shock in her heart, and the look in her eyes towards you completely changed, adding a hint of heartfelt respect. Seeing her reaction, Fireball mocked, picking his nose. "If I gave him a Thomas Flare 720-degree Zongbu reveal, and then drew him a heart to prove it, wouldn't he be so scared on the spot that he'd kneel on the ground and shout, 'God, humans are such drama queens.'" You were speechless inside. This Fireball is such a drama king. Just like that, after an afternoon of slaughter, your Fireball spell successfully reached level 5. Returning to the manor, your mother, Su Wan, quickly greeted you, grabbing your hands and looking you up and down. "How is it? Are you tired? Are you hurt?" You finally smiled. "Mom, I just went to level up. It's not like I went to war. What injuries could I possibly get? Besides, I'm safe with Sister Yi." Just as you were planning to go upstairs to sleep, Yi Hongyu's next words were astonishing. "Commander, Madam Young Master is, in my opinion, the most talented mage I've ever seen." Hearing this, Lin Tianhao's expression immediately turned serious. "Hongyu, explain it clearly." He understands Yi Hongyu. That girl has a straightforward personality. She says what she thinks, and would never lie to please her superiors. But the strange thing is, Yi Hongyu didn't answer, but took out her phone from her pocket. Seeing is believing. "Commander, Madam, this is a video I recorded this afternoon. In the dark forest. You'll understand after watching it." As she spoke, she turned the phone screen towards Lin Tianhao and his wife. Instantly, the restaurant fell silent, except for you standing awkwardly on the side. "Sister Yi, if you're going to record a video, couldn't you have notified me in advance?" Lin Tianhao trembled slightly. That Fireball was guided by a second-stage mental power, and Emoer was multitasking, actually playing games. As one of the top combatants in Jianghai City, Lin Tianhao knew exactly what this meant. Indeed, he's not ordinary. He has the potential of a great emperor. Su Wan next to him was also pursing her lips, her eyes instantly turning red, feeling the hot gazes of his parents. Lin Mo sighed inwardly. "Fine, a genius it is. I can't exactly tell them that my Fireball has become sentient, can I?" Just as Lin Mo was about to speak, he was abruptly interrupted by Su Wan. "Emoer, you'll be taking the big exam soon. If you want to get into a top academy, you need to reach at least level 10 and learn a second basic skill to be safe. Our family has basic skill books for all kinds of elements. Water-based water arrow, earth-based earth shield, and even the rare lightning-based lightning strike. But mages are fragile after all. What they fear most is being approached by assassins or focus fire from a distance. So for your second skill, Dad suggests you choose the earth-based earth shield. It has the highest defense coefficient among the basic skills. Learning it is like wearing an extra layer of tortoise shell. It can save your life in critical moments." You stroked your chin and fell into thought. "Indeed, saving my life is very important. Alright, I'll listen to Dad. The second skill will tentatively be earth-based. Saving my life is important. I want to live a few more years to enjoy myself." Lin Tianhao laughed upon hearing his son's unambitious words. "It's good that you have a goal. Since the goal is set, then the leveling up can't stop." As he spoke, Lin Tianhao flipped his wrist, and an ancient scroll emitting a purple-black light was solemnly placed on the table. "This is a dungeon scroll for the difficult level Ghost Castle. I was originally planning to give it to you in a few days. But since your leveling speed is so fast, and you have that microcontrol talent, you can use it tonight. The level limit for this dungeon is LV3 to LV5, so Yi Hongyu can't go in with you. But that's okay. I've already found a team for you." "Team?" You subconsciously opened your mouth, but before you could finish your words, several young people appeared at the door. Leading them was a stunning young woman wearing a large blue robe. Lin Tianhao waved his hand. "Let me introduce you, Lin Mo. Come, get to know each other. This is Xia Qingyue, the leader of this team. She's also a powerful water mage." Xia Qingyue extended a fair hand. "Hello, Lin Mo." "Hello, Senior Xia." You reached out and shook her hand politely. Although the two of you didn't have much interaction, you've definitely heard of her name. The aloof campus belle of number 1 high school next door. It said that her suitors could stretch from the south to the north of the city. She's the dream girl of countless young men. But you didn't feel much in your heart. You usually don't proactively chase after this kind of aloof girl. Too tiring. As a result, Xia Qingyue saw that your eyes were clear, and didn't look you up and down like other boys usually do, and actually felt a little favorable impression. Just as she was about to introduce the teammates behind her, suddenly, a sound of footsteps came from the side hall. Young master, the equipment has been retrieved. As soon as the words fell, Yi Hongyu walked in, holding a pile of equipment emitting a faint purple halo. Seeing this scene, the eyes of the four young people went wide. This was actually the legendary level purple cloud set, god-tier equipment for mages below level 5. Zhang Kai, who was carrying a longbow, couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Even Xia Qingyue, who had always been expressionless, had a hint of envy flash in her beautiful eyes at this moment. Is this the foundation of a top-tier wealthy family? The equipment in this world is divided into bronze grade, silver grade, gold grade, diamond grade, legendary grade, and mythic grade. To directly arrange this kind of legendary level set for a whiteplate mage who has only awakened for 2 days is simply outrageous. Lin Mo didn't feel anything. Under Yi Hongyu's service, he put on the equipment neatly like a useless person who opens his mouth when food comes and reaches out when clothes come. Fits quite well. Taking off the night vision, Lin Mo moved his arms. That radiant magic robe turned into starlight and instantly entered his body. Disappearing without a trace, the appearance returned to his original casual wear. This is also a special function that all equipment in this world possesses, except in combat mode. Or when actively activated, it will automatically hide its appearance when worn normally. Without affecting daily activities at all, Lin Mo couldn't wait to open the panel and glanced at the attributes of this Azure Cloud set. He immediately gasped. Too violent. This equipment set doesn't have any fancy affixes. It focuses on simplicity and directness. CD reduction. Robe reduces 10%, boots reduce 10%, necklace reduces 15%. Plus the extra attributes activated by the set, the total CD reduction is as high as 60%. What does this mean? The fireball spell, which originally had a 3-second cooldown, now takes 1.2 seconds to explode once, and the multiple burst fireball, which originally required a long 15-second CD, now only needs 6 seconds to cast once. It's indeed top-tier equipment. Too good. Zhang Kai and Wang Meng, standing not far away, exchanged a look. Their hearts were filled with envy. Is this the skill of being reborn into the right family? He was born in Rome. Besides looking good, what else is this equipment good for on a blank slate mage? All these subtle changes in expression did not escape Lin Tianhao's eyes. As a war god who came out of a sea of corpses and blood, his insight into human nature is profound. He saw the jealousy in Zhang Kai's eyes, the envy in Wang Meng's eyes, and also saw their contempt for Lin Mo hidden in their hearts. The smile on Lin Tianhao's lips slightly receded. A trace of coldness flashed in his eyes. He pulled Lin Mo aside and deliberately lowered his voice. Speaking with unprecedented seriousness, "Son, remember, our family provided this dungeon scroll. And we also gave them a lot of money. You are the boss, they are the employees." Lin Tianhao placed his big hand on Lin Mo's shoulder and said earnestly, "Lin Mo, you must understand that in this world, whether it is outside the city or in dungeons, it is a slaughterhouse where people will die. Human nature cannot withstand the test. In the face of extreme danger, human instinct is always to protect oneself first, and they might even develop unsavory thoughts because of your equipment." Speaking of which, Lin Tianhao turned his head and glanced at the four young people, his voice unconsciously becoming louder. "Once you enter the dungeon, if anyone dares to boss you around or act sarcastically, making you feel wronged, come back and tell Dad, and Dad will tear their mouths apart. Even though those people are all Lin Tianhao's subordinates, that's just how people are. It's unspeakable, unspeakable, unspeakable. Only by making their fear of Lin Tianhao exceed their fear of monsters will Lin Mo be absolutely safe. Got it?" Lin Mo didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Why does this feel like the mafia? Then, Lin Tianhao turned to look at Yi Hongyu. "Hongyu, after you send them to the dungeon entrance, you stay outside and guard. If they are disrespectful to Lin Mo on the way, you can deal with them as you see fit. Understood?" A cold glint flashed in Yi Hongyu's eyes. Her gaze swept coldly over Zhang Kai and the others. Zhang Kai and Wang Meng only felt a chill down their necks. Even Xia Qingyue looked different. "Okay, Dad. Stop scaring people." Lin Mo waved his hand and took the lead to walk outside. "Let's go, classmates. Don't waste time." Yes, okay, young Master Lin." Zhang Kai and Wang Meng immediately took a step forward. They followed behind Lin Mo like two completely loyal henchmen. Lin Mo walked in the front, leading the group towards the villa gate. On both sides of the villa, the 2 rows of maids who had been waiting for a long time suddenly bowed 90 degrees in unison. "Young Master, take care. Be safe. We wish young Master success." Their uniform, delicate voices startled the 4 of them. Is this what a wealthy family is like? This display, it's too frightening. Chapter 10, Our skills must have vision. The car started smoothly, and drove into the wilderness in the night. The atmosphere inside the car was a bit dull. After all, facing such a young master from a wealthy family exuding superpowers, plus a female assassin driver with a murderous aura sitting in the front, these young people couldn't relax. Zhang Kai seemed to want to liven up the atmosphere. He licked his lips and gave Lin Mo a flattering smile. Young Master Lin, this time we're going to a difficult level dungeon, and the monsters inside are very fierce. They're not like those silly wild monsters in the wilderness. Lin Mo nodded casually at Coke and Wenyan. Okay, then, Zhang Kai asked, seeing Lin Mo respond. He got a little braver. The four of us have been working together for a long time, and our tactical system is relatively precise. You're just a blank slate, an all-around mage. Your accuracy might be a little off, and you could easily disrupt our rhythm. Speaking of which, Zhang Kai paused and continued, so, when we get into the dungeon later, why don't you just stand in the back? Leave the dirty work to us. Just treat this as a trip. Even if you don't do anything, it's the biggest contribution to the team. As soon as he said this, the air in the car instantly froze. Xia Qingyue frowned slightly. She felt that Zhang Kai had said a bit too much. Sounded nice, like he was worried about Lin Mo's safety. To put it bluntly, wasn't he just telling Lin Mo that his lightning powers were a nuisance and to stay out of the way? Lin Mo hadn't said anything yet, only staring at the luxury car that had just arrived. Suddenly, there was a sudden break. The huge inertia made Zhang Kai lunge forward. His face slammed hard into the back of the seat in front of him. Groaning, Zhang Kai clutched his nose and screamed. Before he could complain, he looked up and, through the rearview mirror, met a pair of cold, piercing eyes. Yi Hongyu held the steering wheel with one hand, staring at Zhang Kai through the rearview mirror. If I heard correctly, you mean our young master is too weak and not worthy to fight alongside you? Or are you teaching the young master how to do things? The car instantly fell silent. As an elite warrior, Yi Hongyu's aura was simply not something this group of students who hadn't even left school could handle. No. Sister Yi, that's not what I meant. Zhang Kai's face instantly turned pale. He couldn't even speak properly. I just want Lin Xiao to be safe. I'm clumsy. I deserve to die. As he said this, he actually raised his hand and slapped himself in the face. Lin Xiao, don't mind it, I just have a slip of the tongue. Just treat me like a fart. Wang Meng and Lu Weiwei beside him didn't even dare to breathe loudly. They huddled in the corner, shivering, especially the timid Lu Weiwei, her face pale, afraid that the next one to be named would be herself. At this moment, they deeply realized what it means to accompany a king is like accompanying a tiger. Even Xia Qingyue, who was always calm, her palms were also slightly sweaty at the moment. She realized that in front of this seemingly kind young master from a wealthy family, any inappropriate words might lead to unpredictable consequences. Lin Mo looked at this scene, and was also speechless for a while. What's going on? It's as if he has become a big villain. Or the kind of villain who has to be killed by the protagonist in the early stage. Xia Qingyue took a deep breath and smoothed things over. Sister Hongyu, Zhang Kai is indeed clumsy, but she has no malicious intent. It's just purely worried about student Lin's safety. Please don't bother with her. Lin Mo shook his head helplessly. Alright, Sister Yi, let's drive. Don't scare people. People really have good intentions. Hearing the young master speak, the murderous aura in Yi Hongyu's eyes slowly subsided. Humph. She snorted coldly and stepped on the accelerator again. The car restarted. Zhang Kai collapsed on the seat, his back already soaked with cold sweat. He secretly swore in his heart that he would never say another word next. And at this time, little Fireball also began to become active. Fireball spell. How Xiao? Can't stand it. Can't stand it at all. That kid dared to say you were weak, saying you were useless? What does he think he is? I killed more monsters yesterday than he has seen in his entire life. This is not only insulting you, but also insulting this book. As long as you nod, I'll fly out now and guarantee that he won't even be able to find his ashes. Let him know what it means. No need to do anything. Lin Mo only felt a headache and quickly held down this violent maniac in his heart. Little fire, calm down. Isn't it just a slip of the tongue? Is it necessary to shout and kill? Fireball spell. Infuriated, how could it not be? The dignity of the strong cannot be violated. He is provoking my majesty. Burn him, must burn him. Lin Mo sighed helplessly, earnestly educating him. Little fire. We, as people and as skills, must have a broader perspective. If you want to kill someone just because they said something unpleasant, then what do we become? Maniacs. Big villains. This kind of thought of killing people at the drop of a hat is wrong, you know? Fireball spell. TCH hypocritical humans. Power is for protecting oneself. and protecting the people you care about, not for bullying teammates. As long as you are strong enough, facts will naturally shut them up. There is no need to be murderous over a little quarrel. That's too low grade. Also too unprincipled. Lin Mo calmly responded in his heart. Although the fireball spell was still grumbling a little, at least it quieted down. Forget it, spare his dog's life. Once we get into the dungeon, I'll show them what true output is. Blind their dog eyes. That's right. Lin Mo smiled slightly. About an hour later, the luxury car pulled up to a desolate, rocky wasteland. The car door opened. Everyone got out of the car. The wilderness at night was bitterly cold, but for Zhang Kai and the others who had just experienced Yi Hongyu's death stare, this cold wind was simply too welcoming. Young master. Yi Hongyu went around the front of the car and respectfully opened the door for Lin Mo. Lin Mo got out of the car and looked around. Yi Hongyu took out the ancient scroll. This is the entrance to the dungeon. Yi Hongyu turned around and looked at Lin Mo. Young master, although this is a trained team, the situation inside the dungeon is unpredictable. Be careful in everything. If you encounter danger, don't be a hero. Survival first. Lin Mo nodded. Don't worry, Sister Yi. I'll take care of myself. Afterward, Yi Hongyu's gaze swept across Xia Qingyue and the other three again. All of you listen clearly. Since you've taken the Lin family's money and accepted the Lin family's mission, you must risk your lives to protect the young master. If you come out alive, a piece of skin is missing from the young master. Yijia, please rest assured. We will definitely protect young Master Ling with our lives. Zhang Kai and Wang Meng nodded vigorously, almost launched on the spot. Even Xia Qingyue, who was usually aloof, nodded seriously. Please rest assured, as the leader, I will be responsible for the safety of the team members. Go. Yi Hongyu waved her hand. 11th Zhang. Wrong color going to burn people to death, along with the figures of the 5 people, completely disappeared into the crack. On the desolate rocky beach, only the cold wind howled. Yi Hongyu leaned against the front of that ordinary luxury car, took out a pack of ladies' cigarettes from her pocket. Lit one, took a deep drag. In the lingering smoke, 1 hour 15 minutes 23 seconds to record holder, Mei Xuan. Chenjin Lu Shu. 18 years ago. 1 hour and 15 minutes. Yi Hongyu stared at the number, muttering to herself. This record is like an insurmountable mountain, lying in front of all new professionals below the weapon class in Dragon Country for a full 18 years. That was the miracle created by the most brilliant geniuses of that year working together. No one has broken it so far. If it's the young master, Yi Hongyu's eyes flickered slightly. That kind of terrifying micromanagement, that kind of control over skills as if they were extensions of his arms. It does have an impact, but the next second, Yi Hongyu shook her head again. It's a pity, records like this have never been broken by one person alone. She exhaled a smoke ring, her eyes becoming a little regretful. The Xia family's girl, although an A-grade water mage, has solid fundamentals. Those 2 boys, although they are also quite strong and well-equipped, but that's all they are, quite good. In the eyes of ordinary people, this may be a luxurious elite squad, but in Yi Hongyu's eyes, who has seen Lin Mo's perverted operation, this team's configuration is really a bit unworthy of her own young master. Clearing the dungeon is definitely no problem, but breaking the record, this kid, will probably only become a burden, slowing down young master's progress. Yi Hongyu sighed. No longer thinking about that unattainable record, her current task is simple. Just wait here for young master's triumphant return. At this moment, inside the dungeon, after a dizzying, disorienting sensation, Lin Mo opened his eyes. What came into view was a gloomy and terrifying castle corridor. The walls were made of blackened bluestone bricks, covered with withered vines and moldy, musty moss. The air was filled with a dark, damp smell, and on both sides of the corridor every few meters hung a grotesquely shaped skull lamp, with a ball of ghostly blue flames burning inside. This dungeon is a bit hellish. Lin Mo sized up his surroundings, sized up. Fireball also dutifully began to illuminate. Fireball spell. This is called fire? So blue, so cold. This is a desecration of the dignity of fire. This is simply... Fireball was emotional. I am the orthodox fire element. I am light. I am heat. This garbage pretending to be flames is disgusting. Status updated. Furious Evolver. He swore. To burn all the guys here. Current mood. Irritable and full of murderous intent. Damage to undead monsters plus 100%. The corner of Lin Mo's mouth twitched slightly. Good fellow, you can get angry about this? Are you a racist? Wanting to extinguish fire just because the color isn't right? However, there is one thing Lin Mo still doesn't understand, and that is why this little fireball can give himself a damage amplification buff so easily. Lin Mo pondered for a while, roughly estimating, "It's about the same as those passionate manga protagonists I've seen in my previous life, as long as you shout loud enough. If the emotions are intense enough, the output can increase exponentially, something like 'my pain is above yours.' It's not me who's wrong, it's this world," something like that, just at this moment. Xia Qingyue in front has quickly entered battle mode. The staff in her hand gently tapped the ground, and a soft, water-blue halo spread out, slightly dispelling some of the surrounding coldness. "Everyone, cheer up." Xia Qingyue's voice was gentle, but revealed a calmness. This is a hard difficulty dungeon. Whether it's attributes or combat skills, it's completely different from the monsters of the same level in the wild. She quickly scanned the people in her eyes and began to deploy tactics. "Set up the formation, Wang Meng, you're the shield, stand at the front. Pay attention to pulling aggro. Absolutely do not let the monsters break through the defense line." "Yes," Wang Meng roared in a low voice, and slammed the heavy tower shield. Heavily on the ground, Zhang Kai, you are on my left. Responsible for ranged physical output and reconnaissance, always pay attention to the ceiling and shadowy corners. Understood? Zhang Kai pulled open his longbow, his eyes alertly scanning the surroundings. Wei Wei. You are in the middle, ready to cast shields and heal Wang Meng at any time. The little priest named Lu Wei Wei nervously nodded and gripped the cross in her hand. Finally, Xia Qingyue's gaze fell on Lin Mo, young Master Lin. You just stand in the middle of the team. After speaking, he turned to look at Zhang Kai again, and added weight to his tone. Zhang Kai, if behind us there are monsters ambushing, you support Lin Mo as soon as possible. Zhang Kai immediately understood. Patting his chest, he guaranteed, don't worry, Captain. As long as I have a breath left, I will definitely not let a single hair on young Master Lin's head fall. Okay, I'll just be in the back shouting 666 for everyone. Lin Mo didn't care about Xia Qingyue's arrangement for him. Instead, he took out snacks mixed with fire attributes from his pocket. This was also taken casually from home. The fireball spell sneered. Shout 666. Let this group of noobs protect me. What a joke. What a joke. Lin Mo was too lazy to care about the little fireball. This skill is really a bit ridiculous. The team slowly advanced. The castle was eerily quiet. Only the heavy footsteps of the crowd echoed in the corridor. Creak. Suddenly, a soft sound came from the dark corner ahead, like the sound of bones rubbing together. Stop, Xia Qingyue whispered. The top of the staff lit up. Something is coming. Everyone's nerves tightened instantly, only to see slowly emerging from the darkness ahead two balls of ghostly blue flames. Then, with the faint light, everyone finally saw the true face of the monster, Nether Spirit Cat. Elite level 5 said to be a cat, but the size is like a cheetah. There is no flesh and blood all over, only sense and white bones. Weird blue fire burns in the gaps of the bones, staring at the crowd. It's a high agility monster I didn't expect. The first monster is an elite level. Before the words were finished, whoosh, a beam of orange-red light lit up without warning from the rear of the team. Then, accompanied by a heat wave, a fist-sized fireball, with a certain kind of indomitable and violent momentum, whistling, brushed past Xia Qingyue and Zhang Kai's ears. Young Master Lin, wait to get closer before attacking. You can't hit it from this far. Zhang Kai shouted subconsciously, facing this kind of high-agility monster, such a long distance. It is almost impossible for this group of newbies who just changed jobs on the second day to hit. Throwing skills randomly at this time is a complete waste of mental power, Zhang Kai sighed. However, the next second, the fireball that had clearly flown past suddenly paused in the air. As if being forcibly pulled by a pair of invisible hands, the fireball spell emitted a stagnant sound. Dodge! Dodge my ass! Whoosh! The fireball changed direction in midair and slammed heavily into the waist of that nether cat. Meow! The nether cat let out a miserable scream. Blasted and rolling on the ground, this turn, Zhang Kai, Xia Qingyue, and the others were all stunned for a moment. Before they could come back to their senses, another fireball whizzed past them. Thanks to that purple cloud set, with a cooldown reduction of up to 60%, the fireball spell, which originally required a 3-second cooldown, now only needs 1.2 seconds. Almost the instant the first fireball exploded, the second fireball had already whizzed out, immediately followed by the third. The nether cat tried its best to dodge, but found it was all in vain. Two violent explosions sounded, and when the flames dissipated, that level 5 elite monster was blasted into minced bone. Chapter 12. It was all the little fireballs doing. It has nothing to do with me. Inside the gloomy corridor, Zhang Kai, Xia Qingyue, and the others widened their eyes as they looked at the pile of bone fragments, then simultaneously turned their heads to look at Lin Mo in the middle of the team. Died. Zhang Kai's voice was a little dry. Just three fireballs. Xia Qingyue's clear, cold eyes were also full of disbelief. As an A-grade water mage, and a top student with perfect scores in theoretical courses, she understood what the scene just now meant better than anyone else. Normally speaking, even a flame mage with S-grade fire elemental affinity would need at least 6 fireball spells to kill a level 5 elite monster at full health. This blank mage only used 3. How is that possible? And most importantly, is the terrifying microcontrol ability, that kind of smoothness, that kind of precision in predicting the monster's landing point, even the control of abruptly stopping and then accelerating in midair. Can a blank mage who has only awakened for 2 days really do this? This level of microcontrol. Even the top fire mage students in the annual Dragon Kingdom's professional examination couldn't do it. Click. Lin Mo looked at everyone, casually took out a red and plump nut from the snack bag and tossed it into his mouth. The crisp chewing sound echoed in the quiet corridor. Then he took out a few more and handed them to everyone. Want some? They're quite spicy. This. Everyone then realized that Lin Mo had even been on the side, eating snacks while performing such an outrageous micro-operation. And no, I don't want any. Zhang Kai replied subconsciously. Oh, never mind then. Lin Mo didn't force it and withdrew his hand. Fireball spell let out a cold snort. Tsh, scared silly by this? Just chicken play. Wait until I pull out the Celestial Maiden Scattering Flowers move. Wouldn't that scare you so much you'd piss your pants? I said. He swallowed the pine nuts in his mouth, looked at everyone, and patted the crumbs off his hands helplessly. Everyone then woke up as if from a dream. Ah? Oh. Why yes. Zhang Kai shuddered violently. Looking at Lin Mo's eyes, the previous contempt was long gone. Young Master Ling is right. Young Master Ling is awesome. I knew it. Young Master Ling has this aura. Clearly a master who hides his true strength. Those 3 fireballs just now. TSK. Simply art. Wang Meng also nodded stupidly and started flattering him. Xia Qingyue also looked at Lin Mo with a complicated expression. Originally, he thought this team-up was a difficult journey with a burden, and even prepared to rescue Lin Mo at any time. But now it seems who is the burden is not certain. This seemingly lazy young master of the Lin family is not some good-for-nothing second generation, but a true monster in sheep's clothing. Everyone adjust your states and continue forward. Xia Qingyue quickly adjusted her mentality. Although she was shocked as the team leader, he must remain calm, since young Master Ling has such a powerful means of output. Then our tactics can also be a little more aggressive. Wang Meng, you lead the way and speed up a bit, okay? Wang Meng, feeling confident, roared. Just at this moment, Lu Weiwei, whose presence had been relatively low, suddenly turned pale. The skeletons from just now. Monsters. So many monsters. Everyone followed the direction he pointed. They saw countless pairs of ghostly blue eyes gleaming densely where the elite nethercat had appeared. 1 pair, 2 pairs, 10 pairs, a full dozens of pairs. Nethercat LV5, all nethercats. Although their size is smaller than the one just now, the elite monster is slightly smaller, just ordinary level monsters, but there are too many of them. Don't panic, it's just a group of ordinary level nethercats. Besides the large number, their attributes are far inferior to the elite monster from just now. Xia Qingyue's voice suddenly rang out, light, cold, and calm. His eyes narrowed, and he quickly issued instructions. Wang Meng, activate immovable as a mountain and defend the front. Sukai, use sword rain to suppress the left side. Don't let them outflank us. Weiwei, shield Wang Meng. Be ready for group healing at any time. Everyone back to the wall and reduce the defensive circle. We'll clear them out little by little. Before Xia Qingyue could finish her tactical deployment, whoosh, a familiar heat wave rushed out from behind him again. A fiery orange fireball rushed straight towards the dozens of nethercats. Young Master Lin, Xia Qingyue exclaimed subconsciously. This young master is too impatient. This is dozens of highly concentrated monster groups. Recklessly engaging monsters at this time is likely to instantly enrage all the monsters and cause a riot. Too reckless. But the next second, everyone stared wide-eyed, looking at the fireball in disbelief. That fireball trembled violently, instantly splitting in the air, dividing into a dozen fireballs in the blink of an eye, covering the group of phantom cats like a small meteor shower. This is multiple burst fireball? Isn't this a beginner skill for fire mages? Xia Qingyue, as a top student, recognized it immediately. Boom, 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 not giving everyone time to think at all. The dozen or so fireballs entered the cat swarm, and a violent explosion instantly resounded throughout the castle. Flame sword, killing phantom cats, experience points directly increased by 40. Killed a phantom cat, experience points directly increased by 40. Fireball spell laughed wildly. Haha, what do you think of this multiple burst fireball move? Scared you, right? This is something I just comprehended yesterday. Xia Qingyue quickly regained her senses. As the team leader, she must quickly organize the attack. Don't just stand there. Quickly. Xia Qingyue shouted loudly. Assist Lin Mo in clearing the monsters. Don't give them a chance to breathe. Wang Meng, finish off any that slip through the net. Zhang Kai, snipe the ones with low health. Actually, there's not much assistance needed at all, because Lin Mo's offense hasn't stopped at all. Thanks to that set of top-quality Azure Cloud equipment, with a cooldown reduction of up to 60%. Originally, this kind of powerful AoE skill has a long cooldown time, but for Lin Mo, only 6 seconds passed. Whoosh! The second fireball roared out, again splitting into a dozen fireballs in the air. Under this terrifying firepower coverage, the battle ended in less than half a minute. Xia Qingyue stared blankly at the piles of corpses in front of her. Dozens of monsters of the same level, in her original expectation. It would at least require the entire team to cooperate and carefully kite them for 10 minutes. But now, less than half a minute, the world is quiet. Awesome. Awesome, young Master Lin. Zhang Kai stuttered, everyone once again in unison, turning his gaze to Lin Mo who was snacking. It has nothing to do with me. Chapter 13. One run of the dungeon. Xia Qingyue stood in place, looking at Lin Mo, and couldn't help but speak. Young Master Lin, that skill just now is a beginner skill for fire mages. Multiple burst fireball, right? Lin Mo threw the last pine nut into his mouth, patted the crumbs off his hands, and nodded. Yes, this skill involves the techniques of elemental division and secondary detonation. Xia Qingyue had a complicated expression. Finally, she took a deep breath and couldn't help but tentatively ask, young Master Lin, I'll take the liberty to ask, how many skill books did you eat in total to learn this move? In Xia Qingyue's opinion, it is extremely difficult for a blank slate mage without elemental affinity to learn advanced elemental skills. Not to mention a blank slate mage, even a fire-specialized mage. Usually, you need to consume a certain number of skill books to learn new skills, to assist their comprehension and learning. So this young Master Lin probably consumed dozens, or even hundreds of books. Is this the foundation of a wealthy family? You need to know. The prices of skill books are extremely expensive, even for beginner skill books. One starts at 6 digits of Dragon Kingdom currency. Before Lin Mo could answer, Xia Qingyue added, young Master Lin, if you don't want to answer. Xia Qingyue is telling the truth. Never seen it. You mean you didn't use any skill books? Yes. Lin Mo shrugged naturally. Isn't it just splitting, and then detonating it? Is it difficult? As soon as the words fell, Lin Mo's skill bar started to vibrate wildly. Fireball spell. Can't hold it in anymore. Is it difficult? That's because it's not difficult for you. It was clearly something I, your father, comprehended last night on the prairie at the risk of my life. What were you doing then? You're sleeping, fireball tree with a face full of disdain. Those who show off will be struck by lightning sooner or later. Shameless plagiarism of my hard work. Doesn't your conscience hurt? Are you copying Crimson Fire Dragon, Fireball Tree? Instant mute. Status update. Bearing the burden of humiliation. Damage plus 100%. Seeing the fireball quiet down, Lin Mo felt relieved. Have to say, occasionally showing off feels pretty good. Xia Qingyue opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but found she didn't know what to say. Self-comprehension. Even for those magic professions with S-grade elemental affinity, it's an extremely difficult thing. But this young Master Lin, as a blank slate mage, actually comprehended it on his second day after job change. No, based on the proficiency of this release, he probably comprehended it on the first day. Such talent is terrifying. Absolutely a talent. Undoubtedly top-tier talent. Zhang Kai suddenly jumped up, his face flushed with excitement. He analyzed loudly, Captain, think about it. If it were learned through miscellaneous skill books, at the beginning, even a fire mage with S-grade affinity could only split out 3 to 5 fireballs at most. Zhang Kai pointed to the dense scorched marks on the ground, but young Master Lin just now split 15 fireballs. 15. What does this mean? It means young Master Lin's understanding of this skill has reached the stage of great perfection. This skill book, compared to young Master Lin, those so-called S-grade affinities might as well go home and raise pigs. Hearing Zhang Kai's words, Xia Qingyue felt a little ashamed. S-grade affinity go home and raise pigs? Then what about his A-grade affinity? Go home and play in the mud? And Wang Meng beside him, and Lu Weiwei, after hearing this analysis, also woke up as if from a dream, looking at Lin Mo. As if they were looking at a walking god. Lin Mo felt a little numb from this rainbow fart. Have to say, Zhang Kai is qualified as a bootlicker. Okay. Lin Mo waved his hand a little embarrassed. Interrupting Zhang Kai's casting, keep it low-key. It's not that exaggerated, just good luck. Let's go quickly. Clear the dungeon early and go back to sleep early. Xia Qingyue also recovered from the shock. She glanced at Lin Mo, and a bit more admiration appeared in her eyes, not only with outstanding talent, but also so humble and low-key, just wanting to sleep. This is the demeanor of a true master. Everyone, listen to young Master Lin and continue moving forward. Xia Qingyue quickly ordered. Maintain formation. Since young Master Lin is going full throttle, then we'll push forward at full speed. On the other side, outside the dungeon on the rocky beach, Yi Hongyu leaned against the hood of the car. 5 or 6 cigarette butts were scattered around her feet, the tiny sparks of red, flickering in the darkness. Half an hour. Yi Hongyu raised her wrist and looked at the time. Her brow furrowed slightly, although she had great confidence in Lin Mo's miraculous performance. But after all, it was a difficult level dungeon. Even for an elite squad, half an hour would at most be enough to clear the outer perimeter. She took a deep drag of the cigarette in her hand and was about to exhale a smoke ring. Suddenly, boom! A sense of vibration came from underground. Immediately afterwards, an extremely oppressive, evil aura instantly enveloped the entire rocky beach. Yi Hongyu's expression changed drastically. She suddenly looked up at the spatial rift of the dungeon. The dungeon entrance, originally emitting a mysterious purple. The light of the dungeon entrance, a thick, impenetrable blackness was surging wildly, like an eye of a demon from hell, slowly opening. This is... Yi Hongyu's pupils shrank suddenly. Her usually calm and cool face, for the first time, showed a look of horror. How is it possible? As an experienced soldier, Yi Hongyu knew too well what this scene meant. In this world, dungeons are divided into 2 types. One type is fixed dungeons, stable and safe. The other type is the temporary dungeon space opened through random dungeon scrolls. And this kind of temporary dungeon, there's an extremely low probability of being eroded by the aura of the dimensional abyss. The probability of a mutation occurring, how low is it? 1 in 100,000 or even lower. Zhanghai City hasn't had a case of a dungeon becoming abyss-like for 8 years. Damn it! Young Master is going to have an accident. Yi Hongyu's fingertips trembled, and she immediately extinguished the cigarette. She took out her phone and dialed Lin Tianhao's number. A dungeon that has become abyss-like. If it's just the monsters getting stronger, there's still a chance of survival. But the scariest part is, in a normal dungeon, as long as you crush the return scroll you're carrying, you can forcibly escape the dungeon and save your life. This is also the biggest reason he dared to let Lin Mo go in. Because when he was in the car, he gave Lin Mo multiple return scrolls. However, once the dungeon becomes abyss-like, the return scrolls will be ineffective. If you want to come out alive, there's only one way, and that is to kill the final boss and complete the level. Beep beep. The call connected after only 2 rings. Hello? Hongyu, did Mu Air clear the level? That's pretty fast. Lin Tianhao's hearty laughter came from the receiver. Commander, something happened. Yi Hongyu spoke very quickly. The dungeon where the young master is located has undergone an abyss-like mutation. What did you say? From the phone came the sound of a teacup shattering into pieces, followed by Lin Tianhao's roar. You wait for me, I'll be right there. Chapter 14. Damn it, I'm not done with that brain. Deep inside the castle, the originally gloomy corridor was now experiencing an even more bizarre change. The damp, musty smell in the air gradually disappeared, and a fishy, sweet blood scent, like it had been fermenting for a long time, emanated. On the walls, the skull lamps with ghostly blue flames burning. The flames suddenly flickered violently, and the color changed from ghostly blue to dark purple. Something's not right. Xia Qingyue, who was walking in the front, suddenly pointed to her feet. Something's not right. Xia Qingyue, who was walking in the front, suddenly pointed at her feet. He stared intently at the churning mist ahead and surveyed the surroundings. Captain, what's wrong? Zhang Kai, who was behind him, was somewhat dazed. He subconsciously asked a question. Xia Qingyue kept looking around, as if repeatedly confirming something. Finally, she uttered a sentence. It's been abyssalized. As soon as these words came out, the expressions of the others instantly froze. Everyone knew what abyssalization meant. Abyssalized. Zhang Kai was so frightened that his whole body went limp. He fumbled to take out the return scroll. A faint light emanated from the scroll, but nothing happened. The return scroll isn't working. It's really been abyssalized. Zhang Kai's voice was trembling, his eyes empty and desperate. A sense of despair spread through the team. Lu Weiwei, the timid priest girl, was already crying her eyes out. Even the strong man, Wang Meng, his hand holding the shield, was also trembling nonstop. What do we do? Zhang Kai looked at Xia Qingyue. Then he looked at Lin Mo. Before entering the dungeon, the crowd looked at Lin Mo. Perhaps it was contempt, thinking he was a useless young master. But after experiencing the continuous bombardment, at this moment, Lin Mo had already somewhat replaced Xia Qingyue, becoming the backbone of the team. Young Master Lin. Zhang Kai's voice trembled. With a sob, what should we do now? Lin Mo looked at the dark road ahead, feeling speechless. What the hell is this? 18 years, I finally get a golden finger. But as soon as I go out, I encounter a 1 in 100,000 chance. My luck is really something else. An abyssal dungeon that requires the most elite team to have any hope of clearing it. Fireball spell is gulping down the abyssal aura in the air. Fireball spell trembled excitedly. This kind of taste, this kind of violence, destruction. The taste of depravity is so wonderful. Fireball spell emitted a mad laugh. Ha ha ha, this is what you call a dungeon. The previous ones were just child's play. This spell can feel the blood boiling inside its body. Abyss-type monster damage. Looking at this skill that's always eager to stir up trouble. Lin Mo said helplessly, if you want to be strong, then be strong, I guess. But even with a 200% damage increase, it might not be enough to beat the Abyss boss. Lin Mo clapped his temporary eye cover and said calmly, all right, stop looking so glum. Since there's no turning back, we can only move forward. Xia Qingyue took a deep breath, gripped her staff again, and her eyes became firm. Young Master Lin is right, crying is useless. We can only fight with everything we have. Everyone listen up, tighten the formation and protect young Master Lin. Let's charge in. Monsters that could originally be dealt with by squeezing fireball now need more firepower to cover them. Fortunately, Lin Mo's purple cloud set's CD reduction effect is really perverted. Plus the little fireball's abyssal damage. With a 200% buff, the team managed to push to the deepest part of the dungeon with only minor scares along the way. And Lin Mo's level also reached LV6, and the levels of others also reached LV5, in front of a black giant gate as high as 10 meters. We're here. Xia Qingyue's voice was hoarse. The boss is inside. Boom boom boom. Before everyone could push the door, that giant door opened automatically to both sides, and a terrifying pressure swept out instantly. In the center of the hall, on a throne made of bones, sat a terrifying figure. Abyss Skeleton Knight Boss. LV5. It was clad in broken black heavy armor, with no face under the helmet. Only 2 dancing purple soul fires. In his hand he held a giant sword that was at least 2 meters long. Underneath him was a skeletal warhorse burning with hellfire. Intruders. Good. A terrifying, hoarse voice echoed in the hall. Along with this roar, a wave of murderous intent swept over them. With just one glance, Zhang Kai and Lu Weiwei felt a little difficulty breathing, and didn't even have the courage to raise their weapons. They were about to lose it. Even the usually calm Wang Meng's hand, holding the shield, was trembling violently. Even though it was just a physical attack boss, that terrifying abyssal aura was countless times more terrifying than any monster they had encountered. Fireball spell was extremely excited. This is a real opponent. Let me go and meet it. Xia Qingyue suppressed the fear in her heart, waved her staff, and shouted loudly. Don't worry, it only uses physical attacks. With young Master Lin here, we still have a fighting chance. Wang Meng, go up. Young Master Lin, get ready. Before the words finished, without Lin Mo even needing to raise his hand, whoosh, a streak of orange-red afterimage directly bypassed everyone and went straight for the skeletal knight on the throne. Humph! A deafening roar instantly exploded in the empty hall. With a terrifying 200% bonus from the abyssal energy damage, the power of this fireball was astonishing. It hit. Zhang Kai's face showed joy. He clenched his fists. However, the next second, his smile froze on his face. The smoke and dust cleared, and the flames extinguished. The skeletal knight was still sitting on the throne, without even changing his posture in the slightest. Around him, a layer of strange purple translucent shield was emitting a ghostly cold light. That strike just now didn't even create a single crack in this layer of shield. Fireball spell was stunned. Fireball spell was in disbelief. Didn't break the defense? This was an angry strike with a 200% damage bonus. This is unscientific. Roar. The skeletal knight slowly raised his head, and from the 2 clusters of soulfire, a coldness permeated. Then, he got up and mounted a skeletal warhorse, violently spurred the horse's flanks, and launched a charge towards the crowd with blue netherfire. The ground is shaking. Be careful, Wang Meng. Block him. Xia Qingyue immediately commanded loudly. Ha ha! I'm going to fight you with my life, immovable as a mountain. Wang Meng's eyes were bloodshot. With a roar, he slammed Tatan heavily into the crack in the ground. His whole body glowed with an earthy yellow light. In the next moment, that 5-meter-long giant sword heavily chopped down on Tatan. Broken. Wang Meng, along with his shield, was sent flying backward, spewing out a mouthful of blood in the air. Finally, he crashed heavily into the wall dozens of meters away. Wang Meng. Lu Weiwei screamed and rushed over. How could this be? Even Lin Mo's fireball of that power couldn't move it. Zhang Kai's face was ashen. Lin Mo stood in the middle of the team, not too panicked. Only Weiwei frowned. It's a little troublesome. Little fire. Don't stop, blast him back. Don't let him get close. Fireball spell? Funny. You don't need to tell me. I'm not done with him. Boom, boom, boom. The hall was filled with fire, and explosions rang out incessantly. Under the successive bombardments of fireball spell and multiple burst fireballs, the skeleton knight was blasted back again and again. However, when the fire dissipated, that purple-tinged shield was still intact. Lin Mo watched the scene, his eyes darkened slightly. It seems that without breaking this shield, it's impossible to kill this boss. The fireball spell stopped cursing. He stared intently at that shield. The fireball spell fell into contemplation. Why can't it be blown up? Deep in thought, it seems like it's about to grow a brain. Its intelligence is taking the high ground. Is it about to figure something out? Lin Mo raised an eyebrow. Chapter 15, Lin Mo, Exploding Spiral Dragon Egg. Good. Under that continuous bombardment, the constant impact caused the skeleton knight to feel immense humiliation. His 2 pulsing purple soul fires bypassed everyone and locked onto Lin Mo. He seemed to have realized that among this group of ants, only this young man was the real threat. As long as he killed him, that mortal's firelight would disappear. Not good. Xia Qingyue rushed in front of Lin Mo, a hint of desperation flashing in her eyes. He's the team leader, he's responsible for this mission, and he took money from the Lin family. Even if it means death, he can't let his employer die in front of him. Xia Qingyue abruptly turned her head. Her originally cold and beautiful face was now covered in dirt. Young Master Lin. Run quickly, I'll hold him back at all costs. As the words fell, a broad figure also stood in front of Lin Mo. Wang Meng held up his shield. Turning his head, he shouted, Young Master Lin, I'll hold him back. Run quickly. Looking at these 2 teammates who looked like they were about to die heroically, Lin Mo sighed helplessly. He kicked Wang Meng in the butt. Are you guys crazy? Lin Mo looked at them like they were idiots. Run? Run where? Find a place to hide, and end up starving to death? Xia Qingyue was stunned. Lin Mo's sudden roar had left her a bit dazed. Lin Mo's eyes narrowed slightly. He looked at the arrogant skeletal knight. Take him down, then swagger out of here. If we can't break through his shield once, we'll do it 10 times, 100 times until we kill him. Hearing these words, Xia Qingyue was slightly stunned. That's right, other than fight. There's no way out. Even dying on the battlefield is better than cowering in a corner and waiting to die. Young Master Lin is right. Zhang Kai, who had been sitting on the ground, also crawled over. Although his legs were still shaking, his eyes revealed a hint of hysteria. Damn it, we're dead anyway. Let's fight him. Young Master Lin, you say how to fight, and we'll fight how you say. Wang Meng also gripped his shield again, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth. Listen to young Master Lin. Take him down. Not far away, the skeletal knight slowly lowered its body. The skeletal warhorse beneath him accelerated its run. The ground shook. Those 2 balls of ghostly blue flames burned wildly on him. Lin Mo looked at the crowd, their fighting spirit rekindled. The corners of his mouth rose slightly, and at this moment in his mind, the little fireball also sensed this atmosphere of a decisive battle. Fireball spell is in a state of extreme anxiety. It knows that to penetrate that layer of defense, it must gather all the flames back. It desperately tries to squeeze the massive fire elements towards the center, trying to condense them into one, but the fire elements are too violent. With a slight squeeze, they collapse and explode in all directions, unable to stabilize into shape. Aren't you stupid? Why not spin? When the spinning speed reaches its extreme, all the energy will be locked tightly in the center, no longer collapsing. Extreme rotation brings extreme penetration. Understand? Lin Mo couldn't help but give a few pointers. In his mind, the originally enraged and roaring little fireball suddenly quieted down. Fireball spell. Spin. In its non-existent brain, a flash of lightning suddenly appeared. Fireball spell is deducing a new elemental arrangement method. Fireball spell is ecstatic. Haha. Genius. I'm really a genius. Congratulations. Fireball spell has independently deduced and evolved an advanced skill. Boulder Spiraling Dragon Bullet. Beginner level. Deals a large amount of fire damage to a single target. Cooldown time, 30 seconds. Lin Mo watched as the little fireball comprehended the new skill just like that. In his heart, he couldn't help but click his tongue a little. The two words spin. Sounds simple, but in actual operation, it's extremely difficult. Fire element is the most violent element. To make them rotate at high speed in a highly compressed state is as difficult as ascending to heaven. With the slightest carelessness, the internal elements will undergo structural collapse and explode directly in the caster's hand. Only a freak like the little fireball who possesses independent consciousness and has a near-perverted control over fire elements can instantly complete this theoretical impossibility with just one of his pointers. Now that it has learned it, then let's try it. Lin Mo was not flustered and slowly raised his right hand, pinching it into the shape of a pistol, pointing directly at the skeleton knight, the corner of his mouth slightly raised. What a joke, watch closely, mage. Not only AoE, but also a one-hit kill. Hearing this, Xia Qingyue was stunned. A one-hit kill? The others also looked at Lin Mo incredulously. This young Master Lin. Has he comprehended a new skill again? Skills, you want them when you want them. They come whenever they want, before everyone could react. Wow! A scorching fireball condensed in front of Lin Mo's fingertips, and the next second, that huge fireball began to vibrate violently, and then spun wildly. Whoosh! The surrounding air was instantly evacuated, forming a vortex visible to the naked eye. Under the dual action of high-speed rotating centrifugal force and centripetal force, the fireball began to visibly shrink rapidly, fist-sized, ping-pong ball-sized. As the volume shrank, the color of the flame also underwent a qualitative change, from the initial orange-red, gradually turning into a deep dark red. Although it was just a small flame spot, the terrifying energy contained within made the surrounding space appear water-like distortions, and the violent airflow swept back, blowing Lin Mo's robe rustling and his hair crazy. At this moment, the roar of the small fireball and Lin Mo's voice overlapped together. Fireball spell, you break, you break. As Lin Mo's hand clasped in the void, the dark red light spot compressed to the extreme, with the sonic boom of air explosion. Burst out, the flame rubbed against the air due to high-speed rotation, dragging out a spirally diffused, terrifying tail flame. Wherever it passed, the bluestone bricks on the ground cracked inch by inch, being lifted into the air by the violent airflow. The earth-shattering explosion instantly shook everyone's eardrums, the entire hall. It felt as if the entire place shook from that blow, a stream of dark red fire instantly piercing through. Knight Haigu's purple shield was shattered into fragments, dissolving into starlight, and Knight Haigu himself was blasted away dozens of meters by the enormous explosive force. He crashed heavily into the bone throne behind him, erupting in dust and shattered. Shattered! Zhang Kai looked at the scene before him in disbelief. That indestructible purple shield had vanished without a trace, leaving only a scorching heat lingering in the air. Xia Qingyue and the others also stood frozen in place. One hit, really just one hit, and head-on at that, forcibly breaking through a single point, shattering the shield that had stumped them all. Just what kind of existence is this Ling family young master? Just as everyone was still questioning their lives. What are you spacing out for? Lin Mo blew on his slightly hot fingertips, then glanced at everyone. Eyes sharpened a bit. Take advantage of his weakness. Finish him. Attack. Chapter 16. Completion possible. I'll eat the tires. Outside the dungeon, chaos reigns. The desolate and quiet wilderness was now illuminated by dozens of blinding military searchlights, as bright as day. Hundreds of fully armed city defense soldiers quickly set up yellow police tape surrounding the dungeon entrance. Humph! A thunderous sonic boom erupted as Lin Tianhao's burly figure fell from the sky. With a loud bang, he crashed onto the ground. At this moment, he couldn't even bother to put on his military uniform, only wearing a black coat, his bare chest still rising and falling sharply. His usually half-closed tiger eyes were now bloodshot. Beside him, Su Wan's figure also appeared. Although her face was pale, as a powerful woman who controlled a vast business empire, the more this was the case, the less she could show weakness in public. Orders. Madam. Yi Hongyu saw the two of them and quickly came to greet them. What's the situation? Lin Tianhao nodded slightly, his voice hoarse. Yi Hongyu bit her lip and began to report. Young master and the others, about 45 minutes ago, entered the dungeon. 10 minutes ago, the dungeon completely abyssified. Su Wan swayed, murmuring softly, how could this happen? Something that hasn't happened in so many years. How could Emoa run into it? Lin Tianhao looked at the pitch-black entrance, his fists clenched, cracking. Lightning danced wildly around her. Everyone present was clear what an abyssified dungeon meant. If the abyssified dungeon wasn't successfully cleared within 24 hours, then the monsters inside would rush out of the dungeon, causing a disaster. Fortunately, this is just a low-level dungeon. The monsters inside aren't very strong. The Zhanghai City army can completely handle it. Just then, a sudden screech of brakes sounded outside the cordon. Several black military SUVs stopped. The doors opened, and a group of people with extraordinary presence stepped out. The middle-aged man in the lead wore a sharp suit and gold-rimmed glasses. Behind him followed a proud-looking young man and 4 professionals equipped with extremely fine equipment and sharp eyes. "Old Lin, what's the situation?" The middle-aged man strode to Lin Tianhao's side, asking in a steady tone. Lin Tianhao turned his head, his brow furrowed. "Zhao Lei, what are you doing here?" The person who came was officially on the same level as Lin Tianhao. Zhao Lei, one of the commanders of the Zhanghai City Defense Army. And the one standing behind Zhao Lei was Zhao Lei's proud son, a flame mage genius who awakened an S-grade fire element affinity. Zhao Lei, with such a big thing happening, as one of the commanders of the Zhanghai City Defense Army, I naturally have to be present. Zhao Lei pushed up the gold-rimmed glasses on his nose, his gaze turning to the abyssified dungeon entrance. A complicated look flashed in his eyes. Abyssification, such a 1 in 10,000 chance, is indeed regrettable. After a slight pause, Zhao Lei turned to look at Lin Tianhao. "Old Lin, I heard from the reports below. Besides your son, who else is in the team trapped in the dungeon? What level are they? What equipment do they have?" Lin Tianhao was silent for a moment. Yi Hongyu next to him answered for him. "Besides the young master, there is also an A-grade water element Qing, an A-grade water mage, a B-grade shield warrior, and a B-grade ranger. An A-grade priest all around level 4, equipped with gold-grade equipment." As soon as he said this, Zhao Lei frowned instantly, and his son, Zhao Yu, behind him, revealed a look of mockery. After all, he and Lin Mo are both sons of commanders. From childhood to adulthood, he had always been compared to Lin Mo. Over time, "Zhao Lei, Lao Lin, you are usually a smart person. Why are you so confused right now?" Zhao Lei sighed, with a tone of disappointment. "If you want someone to take your Lin Mo to level up, just tell me. Let Zhao Yu lead the team. Isn't that better than this group of miscellaneous teams?" Zhao Lei shook his head and sighed. "With this configuration, I estimate it's difficult to even break through the defenses. Their survival rate approaches 0. "Stop with the hindsight," Lin Tianhao snorted. "This was just a normal dungeon crawl. Who could have predicted that 1 in 10,000 chance of abyssal corruption?" Zhao Lei, let him humble himself and beg Zhao Lei? Letting his son take Lin Mo would be more painful than killing him. Moreover, before this, who would have thought that they would encounter such bad luck as abyssal corruption? "Okay, I won't argue with you about this. What's done is done." Zhao Lei glanced at Lin Tianhao and didn't want to argue with him either. After all, Lin Tianhao's son is about to die. If he really annoys him, he can't beat Lin Tianhao. Luckily, this is just a difficult dungeon. When the dungeon reopens, our Zhao Yu will take his level 5 elite team to the top. Zhao Lei pointed to the only force currently capable of solving this abyssal dungeon. Zhao Lei also stepped forward upon hearing this. "Lin uncle," with the confidence and arrogance of an S-class genius on his face. "Aunt Su, please rest assured, although the end is highly likely to be, I will be ready at any time. Once the instance resets, I will lead the team in at the first moment. I will personally cut off the head of that boss to avenge the end." Just then, Su Wan, who had been silent, suddenly raised her head. In her red eyes flickered the unique stubbornness and unwillingness of a mother who says Emoer will definitely die. Su Wan's voice, although a little trembling, was unusually firm. "The instance hasn't reopened yet, which means they are still alive. I believe in my son. Maybe Emoer can not only survive but also conveniently clear this abyss instance, right, Lao Lin?" Su Wan turned to look at Lin Tianhao, her eyes filled with a hint of expectation, as if as long as Lin Tianhao nodded, their son could really survive. Lin Tianhao looked into his wife's eyes. How could he not know the difficulty of clearing the instance? How could she not know the difficulty involved? But at this moment, looking at his wife's tearful eyes, how could he bear to say that cruel no? Lin Tianhao took a deep breath, his voice hoarse. "Yes, Emoer, she will definitely make it. She can definitely make it." Hearing Lin Tianhao and his wife's words, Zhao Lei was slightly stunned. Then, she just shook her head helplessly and didn't say anything to refute. A blank slate mage without any talent, wanting to clear the abyss instance with a ragtag team is simply a fantasy. Zhao Lei pushed up her glasses and sneered in her heart. If Lin Mo's configuration can really clear it, I Zhao Lei will eat the tires of this military off-road vehicle today. Chapter 17. Want to eat? Call me daddy. Inside the instance, the skeletal knight was now slumped in the ruins of the Bone Throne. Having had his shield broken, he was in a weakened state. Listen to young Master Lin, take his life while he's down. I'll shoot you to death. Zhang Kai thought, drawing back his longbow, firing arrows, some ignited at the skeleton knight. Wang Meng also charged forward with his shield, smashing it hard into the skeleton knight's kneecap, though the damage wasn't high. But it was extremely insulting, and Xia Qingyue, as the team's A-grade water mage, took a deep breath. Waving her staff, streams of azure blue water condensed into sharp arrows in the air. She continuously fired them at the boss, while Lin Mo was still eating snacks and watching the show. Little Fireball began its fully automatic killing mode, crazily bombarding the boss. Boom boom boom. The massive firelight produced by the explosion instantly engulfed the boss. This series of damage made Zhang Kai and the others' eyelids twitch. That's what you call output. Compared to young Master Lin, they were practically malnourished. Under the crowd's storm-like siege, the long health bar above the skeleton knight's head decreased at a speed visible to the naked eye. Soon, his health dropped below 70%. Roar! An extremely angry roar came from the ruins. The skeleton knight violently swung his giant sword. A terrifying shockwave sent Wang Meng, who was closest, flying out. Immediately afterward, that despair-inducing, light purple, translucent shield enveloped his entire body once again. Damn it, here it comes again, Zhang Kai said, seeing this. He sharply turned his head to look at the leisurely Lin Mo at the rear of the team. Lin Mo didn't waste words. He directly raised his hand and fired another shot. Whoa! A dark red point of light, rapidly condensed, compressed, and rotated at Lin Mo's fingertip. Go! Lin Mo flicked his finger lightly. Humph! Without any suspense. That spiral dark red fire line once again penetrated the purple shield. That shield that had just been condensed exploded into a sky full of starlight again. The skeleton knight let out a painful hiss, and his massive body was blasted away again. It slammed heavily into the wall. Young Master Lin is awesome. Young Master Lin is invincible. Zhang Kai excitedly jumped up, drew back his longbow, and continued to output damage. Although Xia Qingyue had already witnessed all of this, she still couldn't help but glance at the leisurely Lin Mo. In the firelight, Lin Mo's figure was tall and slender. His head of black hair slightly swayed in the heat wave. The profile of his face was caught in the interplay of firelight and shadow. It appears particularly distinct, accustomed to the unwavering composure in the face of Mount Tai collapsing. Coupled with that extraordinarily handsome face, even Xia Qingyue, who usually holds her head high, her heart couldn't help but skip a beat. Is this the true demeanor of a powerful individual? Xia Qingyue's gaze fixed on Lin Mo's fingertips, which were still emitting wisps of smoke. As a top student, he knows the value of this move better than anyone. Fire element, it is the most recognized as the most violent element. Compress the fire element to the extreme. And still maintain high-speed rotation. This move is Burst Flame Spiral. Although it is only a beginner skill, its difficulty in understanding is absolutely comparable to a high-level skill. Moreover, the damage of this move is completely worth its difficulty. It is the highest single-target damage beginner skill among all professions, even hidden professions. Without exception, Lin Mo, young master of the Lin family. What kind of monster are you? The following battle becomes without suspense. Every time the skeleton knight finally managed to brace the shield, before it could show off, it was ruthlessly shattered by Lin Mo's fingertip burst flame spiral cannon. After repeating 3 times, the skeleton knight's huge body collapsed, turned into a pile of skeletons emitting black gas. Congratulations! Successfully killed Abyss Skeleton Knight LV5, gained experience points plus 2,000. Congratulations, your level has been raised to LV7 45%. The golden light of leveling up lit up on Lin Mo 1. We really won. Lu Weiwei slumped on the ground, looking at the pile of skeletons. Pleasantly surprised. Haha, even Xia Qingyue, who is usually aloof. At this moment, the corners of her mouth couldn't help but rise. This is the Abyss Dungeon. Although it's just the hard difficulty, its value is enough for them to write a significant meaning on their resumes. Quick, see what dropped. Wang Meng pointed at the skeleton knight, and shouted at the several light clusters floating above the corpse. Lin Mo glanced at it casually. Looking at the dropped equipment and materials, the most valuable was a piece of gold-grade equipment. But it's warrior equipment and gold-grade equipment. Lin Mo really doesn't care for it. You guys can split these up yourselves. Lin Mo pointed to the light orbs and waved his hand casually. As soon as he finished speaking, Xia Qingyue's voice rang out. No! He looked at Lin Mo, his face full of seriousness. Young Master Lin, this is against the rules. First of all, you are the boss. The dungeon's output should belong to you. Second, if it weren't for you, we wouldn't even have cleared the dungeon, and we would have lost our lives. So, for both emotional and rational reasons, these things are all yours. Saying this, Xia Qingyue took a deep breath and made a decision. Not only these spoils of war. We can't take them. After we get out, we will return Uncle Lin's previous employment fee. In full. This dungeon run was already a great bargain for us to gain so much experience from you. Even leveling up twice. One shouldn't be too greedy, otherwise, they will be punished by heaven. Zhang Kai, Wang Meng, and the others listened. Were also stunned for a moment. That was gold equipment. It was a lie to say they weren't tempted. But soon Zhang Kai reacted. The captain is right. Young Master Lin, these things are all yours. The others also expressed their stance one after another. Lin Mo looked at them with a helpless expression. He really had no use for these broken scraps. These days, no one even wants money that is offered. However, since they insisted so much, Lin Mo was too lazy to refuse further. As you wish. Lin Mo waved his hand and put all the loot on the ground, into the backpack in his panel. Seeing Lin Mo accept it, Xia Qingyue breathed a sigh of relief. She looked at Lin Mo and casually said, Young Master Lin, the big exam is the day after tomorrow. With your current strength, you should be able to get into the Sky Dragon Academy of Kyoto. Speaking of which, Xia Qingyue's eyes flashed with envy. That's the dream of all Dragon Country professionals. The Holy Land of Dreams, the highest institution, gathers the country's top. Even the security guard guarding the gate may be a retired, high-level professional. The future starting point for students graduating from there. They are all City Legion commander-level existences, the real human elite. Tianlong Academy. Lin Mo raised his eyebrows. Whatever. Accommodation, environment, and cafeteria food are the most important. The highest institution should be very good, right? At this moment, Zhang Kai suddenly interjected. I heard that this time, our Jianghai city has gone all out to give the city's top scorer. Prepared a complete heart of a lava beast as a reward. Complete heart of a lava beast. Hearing this, Wang Meng's hand shook and he gasped. Lava beasts are already rare, and even a single slice of their meat on the market is being sold at exorbitant prices. Moreover, it is still out of stock. Fireball tree. Fireball tree. Saliva flowed like a waterfall. I want it. I want that. The lava beast sounds like something I love to eat. Also out of stock. Lin Mo touched his chin. Although his family is rich in this world, some things cannot be bought with money alone. After all, it's not just his family that's rich. Fireball tree is extremely greedy. Did you hear that? I want this. This seat wants this. After eating this seat will definitely be able to take it a step further in the beyond realm. Lin Mo chuckled and deliberately teased this irritable skill. Want it? If you want it, call me daddy and I'll reluctantly go and get that top scorer back. Fireball tree instantly exploded. Presumptuous. Audacious. This seat is destined to become a supreme existence. You want me to call you daddy? Oh, is that so? Lin Mo didn't care. Muttered a few times in his heart. All right then. I was too lazy to move anyway. Well, I'll just slack off during this big exam. It doesn't matter which academy I go to anyway. It's a pity about that heart. I heard it's full of fire elemental essence, and it bursts in your mouth when you bite into it. TSK, 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 the fireball tree is silent. The fireball tree. Swallowing non-existent saliva, its dignity is undergoing violent upheaval in the face of delicious food. A few seconds later, an extremely aggrieved voice came from Lin Mo's mind. Fireball tree. Dad. Extremely unwilling and ashamed. Dad. Louder. Have you not eaten? Can't hear you. Lin Mo is pushing his luck. Fireball tree. Infuriated from embarrassment. That's enough. You're making my head go mute. All right. Lin Mo was too lazy to tease the little fireball anymore. Waving to the crowd. Let's go, everyone. Nightscape is probably getting sleepy waiting. Let's go out. Chapter 18. Breaking the record and clearing the level. Su Wan stood by her side, her hands tightly clasped in front of her chest. The strong woman. At this moment, she was just a mother praying for her child's safe return. And on the other side, Lin Tianhao seemed much more composed. He occasionally raised his wrist to look at that priceless Patek Philippe. Just then, the vortex of the dungeon, which had been spinning wildly, suddenly froze for a moment. This is a sign that the dungeon is about to reopen. Lin Tianhao and Su Wan's hearts instantly leapt into their throats. In this world, besides the reopening of a dungeon that has been corrupted by the abyss, there are only two possibilities. Either everyone inside is dead and the dungeon resets, or it has been cleared. Zhao Lei pushed up his steel-rimmed glasses. Looks like it's over. Xiao Yu, get ready to enter. Got it, Dad. Zhao Yu flexed his wrists, his whole body eager to try. After all, to be able to perform in front of so many big shots. Just thinking about it makes him excited. However, Yi Hongyu suddenly exclaimed in surprise, "No, look up there!" Everyone's gaze subconsciously followed her finger. Between originally that, the 18-year-old record is rapidly fading. Current highest record. 1 hour, 05 minutes, 22 seconds. Clearing team, Xia Qingyue. Zhang Kai, Wang Meng, Lu Weiwei. Lin Mo. How is this possible? Zhao Lei's expression froze, his mouth slightly open, unable to close it for a long time. Her son, Zhao Yu, wasn't much better, staring blankly at the record. Cleared it, and broke the record while clearing it. And it was under the abyss-transformed state of the dungeon that the record was forced to be broken, just as everyone hadn't recovered from this huge shock. Whoa! The light at the dungeon entrance flashed, and several figures slowly walked out of the vortex. As soon as Lin Mo stepped out of the dungeon, he was startled by the formation. Hundreds of fully armed soldiers, dozens of spotlights, and those pairs of eyes staring straight at him. Wow, what a big scene. Lin Mo's eyes swept across the crowd, landing on Zhao Yu, who had a fascinating expression. Not far away, he raised his eyebrows. He waved with a non-smiling expression. Yo, young Master Zhao is here. Instead of sleeping at home late at night, you're here blowing in the wind. You have quite the leisure. Eh? Zhao Yu's face flushed red, unable to speak. Before Lin Mo could tease him any further, Su Wan rushed over. Mo'er. She no longer cared about her president image and hugged Lin Mo tightly, with such force. It almost broke Lin Mo's ribs. You scared Mom to death. An abyss dungeon. Why are you so unlucky? If anything happens to you, Mom won't live either. Su Wan cried while hitting Lin Mo's back forcefully. Hey, cough. Lin Mo's eyes rolled back as he was strangled. His face turned blue, and he struggled to pat his mother's back. Mom, let go. I wasn't killed by the monsters. You're going to kill me. Hearing her son's cry for help, Su Wan finally reacted. She hurriedly let go, haphazardly wiping the tears from her face, and sized up Lin Mo. Her eyes were full of concern and apology. I'm sorry. Mom was too excited. Let Mom see if you're hurt anywhere. Where does it hurt? Oh dear, you're really okay. You haven't even broken the skin. Lin Mo helplessly spread his hands at her and showed off his intact limbs. At this time, Lin Tianhao also strode up, this iron-blooded commander. Although he didn't lose his composure like his wife, the large hand he placed on Lin Mo's shoulder trembled slightly, still revealed the excitement in his heart. Good boy, it's good you're alive. It's good you're alive. Lin Tianhao glanced past his son and looked behind him. He looked at Xia Qingyue and the other three who followed her out. His eyes narrowed and his brow furrowed slightly. Apart from some dust and fatigue, these 4 people didn't even have a single sign of serious injury. What's going on? Lin Tianhao asked in a deep voice. Even if his son had microcontrol talent, being able to protect himself in that kind of environment would be good enough. How could he bring the whole team out unscathed? Xia Qingyue took a deep breath, stepped forward, and bowed deeply to Lin Tianhao. Uncle Lin, Auntie Su, this time we were able to come out alive and clear the abyss dungeon. All thanks to Lin Mo. If Lin Mo hadn't single-handedly shattered the final boss's shield and taken on more than 90% of the damage output, we would have died inside long ago. Speaking of this, Xia Qingyue took out a bank card from her pocket and handed it to Lin Tianhao with both hands. Uncle Lin, we can't accept the commission for this mission. In the dungeon, not only did we not help much, but we also piggybacked on Lin's experience and leveled up twice. We even got the honor of clearing the record. This money is burning our hands. Please take it back. Zhang Kai and Wang Mengi behind her nodded repeatedly, like chicks pecking at rice. Yeah, Commander, Lin is so awesome. Really, he carried the whole team. We just went in to cheer. 666. We're really embarrassed to take the money. Hearing this series of compliments, Lin Mo scratched his head a little awkwardly, his cheeks slightly flushed, in front of so many people. Being praised like this is really a bit overwhelming. That, everyone is too kind, Lin Mo waved his hand. Trying to make himself look humble, I'm not that awesome, just average. Average? Lin Tianhao looked at his son, with that nonchalant look. It was really unbelievable carrying the whole team and in a corrupted state, breaking a record that has lasted for 18 years. My son is really that awesome? Lin Tianhao suppressed the joy in his heart, laughed heartily, and directly pushed back the card Xia Qingyue handed over. Keep it. Money that I, Lin Tianhao, send out will never be taken back. This, Xia Qingyue's hand holding the bank card froze in midair. A little at a loss, At this moment, Su Wan on the side gently held Xia Qingyue's hand and pushed the card back into her palm. Xia, if your Uncle Lin tells you to keep it, then do so. Even if Moore contributed a lot this time, if you weren't holding the line at the front. Without your trust as teammates, she couldn't have done it alone. Besides, you accompanied Moore on a trip to death's door. Consider this money a little token from Auntie. Take it to buy some tonics and nourish yourselves. This, Xia Qingyue looked at Su Wan's sincere eyes and finally nodded, taking back the bank card. Then thank you, Uncle Lin. Thank you, Auntie Su. All right. Don't stand here in the cold wind, Lin Tianhao said in high spirits, waving to his subordinates. Someone, take Xia and the others back first. Not far away, Zhao Lei looked incredulous. Everyone unscathed? Zhao Lei muttered to himself. Zhao Lei snorted coldly. Probably that old thing, Lin Tianhao. Spent a lot of money to give Lin Mo some trump card. Saying so, Zhao Lei's gaze fell on Xia Qingyue, who was about to leave. Besides, I think that little girl named Xia Qingyue is not simple either. Do you know her? Zhao Yu followed his father's gaze and nodded. Yes, it's Qing He, the A-grade water elementalist from First High next door. She's very famous in the school. Before job change, whether it's theoretical grades or practical simulations, she has always been the best in the school, an A-grade water mage. The best in the school? Zhao Lei narrowed his eyes. Let's go. This is none of our business. He opened the car door and before getting in, he turned to an adjutant beside him and coldly instructed, Go! Investigate Xia Qingyue thoroughly. Find an opportunity to talk to her and say, We want this year's Zhanghai City champion. Ask how much money she wants as compensation. Whatever she wants. Yes, sir. The private order. The adjutant obeyed and left. The car window slowly rose. Zhao Lei looked at his son sitting beside him, his tone becoming serious. Xiao Yu, don't let this little thing mess with your head. This year's Zhanghai City champion reward, that lava behemoth's heart, is crucial for your flame mage profession. Zhao Yu clenched his fists. Fierce flames ignited in his eyes. Don't worry, I'm determined to win this Zhanghai City champion. Seeing his son like this, Zhao Lei's originally gloomy mood dissipated a lot. As expected of my son, Zhao Lei, not retreating in the face of strong enemies, but instead, being aroused with a stronger desire to fight. That's right, only this kind of wolfishness is worthy of standing at the peak in this dog-eat-dog world. Chapter 19. I've decided to win the champion. Even Jesus can't stop me. Fireball spell. Listlessly. So hungry. Feels like my body's been hollowed out. Fireball spell complained. That previous rock-embracing spiral dragon egg consumed too much energy. Hurry, quickly find some fire dragon meat for this lord to replenish. The originally arrogant and domineering voice of the little fireball spell had become weak and feeble at this moment. Lin Mo touched his stomach. Glug glug. Indeed, he was also hungry. He felt like he could eat a whole cow right now. He turned his head and looked at his mother, Su Wan. Mom. Su Qing's words, we'll talk about it when we get back. I'm starving. Can we get something to eat first? Preferably something with high calories and fire elements. I need to replenish. As soon as Su Wan heard this, she immediately put on a energetic expression. Eat. We must eat. Mom, I'll have the family's 5-star chef team start cooking now. What do you want to eat? Fire dragon meat? Chilen arm? Or deep-sea saltwater soup? As long as you want to eat it, Mom will find it for you. At this time, Lin Tianhao, who was beside him, turned his head and looked in the direction where Zhao Lei's convoy disappeared in the distance. The night wind blew his cloak. Humph. That old thing Zhao Lei, his face just made me angry. Emoer still doesn't have any news, and he brought the team here, as if he was sure that Emoer would die. I didn't expect Emoer to be so awesome. He's been messing around for half his life. He really thought he could get one back on his son. Lin Tianhao snorted coldly. Then he looked at Lin Mo. Emoer, since you have such a good talent, and you are so hardworking and motivated, then we can't waste it. Lin Tianhao waved his hand and said boldly, Dad has decided, tonight we will directly mobilize the city defense army. The 3rd Special Operations Brigade is coming over. This whole rocky beach and the nearby leveling areas will all be blocked tonight, and they will help you lure monsters, cripple them, and let you reap the rewards. We're not going back tonight, we're going to level up all night, we must before the big exam. Stomp Zhao Lei under our feet. Leveling up all night? Even the donkeys in the production team wouldn't like that after finishing an abyss dungeon. Lin Mo just wanted to open his mouth to refuse, to express that as a human being. He needs basic sleep requirements. No way. Before Lin Mo could speak, Su Wan slapped Lin Tianhao's hand away and glared at him and scolded, Lin Tianhao, are you crazy? Moer just escaped from the Abyss dungeon. You're letting him level up all night with such a huge mental energy consumption? Are you trying to exhaust my son to death? Is leveling up more important or is his health more important? No, absolutely not. Lin Mo must go home and sleep now. Lin Mo nodded frantically in his heart, giving his mother a thumbs up. That's right, that's right. Don't need to sleep? What sleep does Fireball need? Only the weak need sleep. Fireball, continue grinding after finishing the feast. I will become Jingzhou's Fireball. You're already tired at this level? Get up. Lin Mo looked at the small fireball icon frantically jumping in the skill bar, feeling a burst of fatigue. This rebellious son might actually do it. What if he really goes home to sleep and wakes up leveled up again? How will we explain it then? Haha. Just kidding. I sneaked out to level up again in the middle of the night. Won't I be treated as a lunatic? Just as Lin Mo was pondering, Lin Tianhao smiled and said gently to Su Wan, "Hey honey, don't worry, hear me out. I feel sorry for our son too. I also know Moer is tired. So what I mean is let's move the big bed at home here to set up a temporary base. Special forces will be responsible for luring monsters, beating the monsters until they only have a sliver of health left, and then delivering them to Moer. Moer only needs to lie comfortably in bed and tap his finger to deliver the final blow." Su Wan was stunned for a moment. Move the bed to the wilderness and practice lying down? This is outrageous. Su Wan was still hesitant. Anyway, there's a bed to lie on. The kid can fight on his own, sleep his own sleep. There's no conflict. Lin Mo took a deep breath and instantly adjusted his expression. He stepped forward, his eyes becoming incomparably firm, and said righteously, "Mom, Dad is right. Although I'm very tired and really want to go home and sleep, but..." Lin Mo clenched his fist. "Although I, Lin Mo, don't have great ambitions, but I absolutely cannot let Mom and Dad lose face. So what if it's all-nighters? So what if I lose some sleep? For big mouthfuls of food. For the glory of the Lin family, I'll go all out." These words, coupled with that determined gaze, instantly stunned Su Wan. She looked at her son, and her eyes suddenly turned red. What an understanding child. He's already so tired, yet to win honor for his parents, he actually insists on special training. Good child. Su Wan choked up with emotion. Immediately after, she took out a skill book radiating a brownish-yellow light. "Since you have the will, Mom won't stop you. This is what Mom specially prepared for you before leaving this morning. Originally, I wanted to wait until you came home tonight to give it to you." Su Wan stuffed the skill book into Lin Mo's hand. She said softly, "This is the Earth-type basic skill I mentioned this morning. The Earth Shield book might be useful soon, so I'll give it to you first." Lin Mo took the skill book. Skill book, Earth Shield book, basic. Effect. Summons an Earth elemental shield to resist a certain amount of physical and magical damage. With this, I can learn a new basic skill. I'm already level 7 with almost half the experience points. If the entire Special Forces Brigade helps me practice, I guess I can learn it after waking up from a nap. When I learn the Earth Shield book, I hope it's a more stable skill. Don't let it be another rash little brother. Thank you, Mom. Lin Mo put away the skill book. Lin Tianhao, being burly, said to the adjutant beside him, "Go bring the 3rd Special Forces Brigade over here. Also, go to the house, dismantle that bed of Morpheus, and transport it over here. Bring the silk quilts, latex pillows, and aroma diffuser. Also, notify the kitchen team to bring all the ingredients and cooking utensils. They must depart within 10 minutes. The adjutant beside him was stunned. He stood straight and replied loudly, "Yes, salute." But after turning around, the adjutant wiped his brow. Cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Is this what a wealthy family is like? Moving the training room to the wild. They even mobilized an entire special forces team to help hide the monsters. It's inhuman. After arranging everything, Lin Tianhao turned around and instructed Yi Hongyu. "Hongyu, Mole is in your care." "Yes, sir. Commander." Yi Hongyu stood at attention and saluted, her eyes sharp. Lin Tianhao nodded in satisfaction, then looked at Lin Mo. "Dad and Mom are going back first. Remember, if you're really too tired, take a break." Su Wan also held Lin Mo's hand, repeatedly giving reluctant instructions before getting into the car with many backward glances. Before getting into the car, Lin Tianhao suddenly turned around and shouted to Lin Mo, "Son, go for it." Lin Mo pounded his chest. Then, pointing at Lin Tianhao, he responded loudly, "Dad, I'm claiming this crown. Even Jesus can't stop me." I mean it. Watching his son, so confident and high-spirited. Seeing his son so confident and high-spirited, Lin Tianhao and his wife smiled knowingly, their faces full of relief and pride. Looks like all the money we spent on training our son wasn't wasted. Yeah. Hey wife, who is Jesus? I don't know. Probably Mole's classmate? Oh, 20th page. Young master is truly amazing. He can kill monsters even in his sleep. On the rocky beach, a giant, luxurious tent was erected out of nowhere. The tent was brightly lit. The ground was covered with thick Persian carpets. On the long table in the center, covered with a pure white tablecloth, delicious dishes fresh from the pot were laid out. Come on, young master, open your mouth. A young woman in a black and white lace-made outfit was kneeling beside Lin Mo. Using a silver fork, she picked up a piece of steak. Lin Mo felt at ease and opened his mouth to bite the steak. The kind of melt in your mouth, instantly bursting with heat flavor on the tongue, made him squint his eyes involuntarily. Here is a pork belly. Perfectly roasted, Lin Mo vaguely commented, theoretically speaking. Fireball spell is frantically swallowing saliva. Delicious. So delicious. More. Quickly, another piece. Don't you have hands yourself? As long as young master likes it, the maid chuckled. She intentionally or unintentionally rubbed against Lin Mo. It's because young master is healthy. No matter how much he eats, he stays thin. If it were anyone else, they probably would have had a nosebleed already. As she spoke, she extended her finger and gently wiped away a bit of soup from the corner of Lin Mo's mouth. Just as Lin Mo was about to speak, the tent curtain was lifted open. Yi Hongyu strode in. Young master, the Special Forces unit is assembled. They are waiting on the outskirts. Your bed has been set up. All irrelevant personnel around have been cleared. You can practice with peace of mind. So exaggerated. Lin Mo glanced at the nearly finished delicacies on the table, wiped his mouth and stood up. Okay, I'm full. Let's begin. Lin Mo walked out of the tent. A familiar, custom-made soft bed appeared before his eyes. Surrounding the large bed were dozens of fully armed, murderous-looking Special Forces soldiers. They were on high alert. Lin Mo plopped down onto the soft mattress. Comfortable, Yi Hongyu walked forward and began to introduce, Young Master. This is Ah-Hu, a Berserker class. This is Nyo, a Ranger. This is Sure Tu, an Earth Mage. Tonight, they will lead the team to cripple the monsters for you and deliver them. Ah-Hu patted his chest and guaranteed, Young Master, rest assured, I can guarantee that the monster's health will absolutely not exceed 5% when we deliver them. You only need to move your finger to harvest them. Lin Mo nodded in satisfaction. Okay, thank you brothers. Let's begin. As he said that, he took out his phone from his pocket. Skillfully landscape mode. I'm not sleepy yet since I just ate. I'll play a few games first. Following their orders, the Special Forces soldiers around them instantly turned into black shadows, scattering into the night, and after a short while. Okay, accompanied by the roars of beasts, Stone's voice came. Young master, here comes the monster, 3 o'clock direction. Immediately afterwards, a wasteland magic wolf with a broken leg and covered in blood, LV6 was thrown high, accurately flying towards the right side of the big bed. Lin Mo was still concentrating on playing the game, fireball spell, excited. Here you go. Yes. Whoosh, an orange-red fireball howled out, accurately hitting the head of the magic wolf in midair, killing the wasteland magic wolf. Experience points +3 or 5. Beautiful. Stone, who had just thrown the monster over, his eyes lit up. This season's accuracy and prediction are simply divine. Young master, 12 o'clock direction, 2. Ah-Hu's loud voice sounded. 2 remaining health poisonous lizards were thrown over. Boom, boom. Within a short 2 seconds, 2 balls of fire exploded. Double kill. Holy crap. Ah-Hu, who had just returned, his eyes were about to pop out. He and Stone looked at each other, couldn't help but swallow. Yes, he said, young master's micromanagement is very good. And he also has the ability to multitask. I didn't believe it before, but I didn't expect it to be true. Stone on the side also agreed. I am an Earth Mage, I know this kind of micromanagement. Plus how difficult this multitasking is, as expected of the young master. As time goes by, the Special Forces team's cooperation became more and more skilled, and the frequency of attracting monsters also increased, from the beginning of 1 or 2, to the later 3 or 5 in groups. All kinds of wasteland monsters were beaten to the point of being crippled and thrown around the big bed. Time passed by, and the night grew deeper. Lin Mo played 7 or 8 ranked matches. After consecutive wins, there was another wave of consecutive losses, and his spirit finally couldn't hold on. Lin Mo yawned, his eyelids began to droop, and the screen of the mobile phone showed. It's getting blurry. I can't hold on any longer. Just pulled an all-nighter yesterday, and now this Abyss dungeon run. Even Iron Man can't take it. Lin Mo casually tossed his phone onto the pillow, tilted his body, and slipped into the soft, warm silk quilt. You guys continue, we'll be back in a bit. Having said that, Lin Mo found a comfortable position and buried his head in the pillow. In less than 3 seconds, even breathing could be heard. Not far away, Ahu had just rushed back with an ironclad rhino. He was about to call out to the young master to take on the monster, but saw that Lin Mo had already shrunk into the quilt. He froze on the spot. At this moment, Stone, who had been hiding monsters on the other side, also led a half-dead porcupine back. Seeing this scene, Stone paused. He was dumbfounded. And this, the young master is asleep. Ahu nodded somewhat helplessly. It looks like he's asleep. Then should we still throw the monsters? Stone looked at the porcupine in his hand, then looked at the rhino in Ahu's hand. Ahu frowned and pondered for 2 seconds, then said, "The captain said to practice all night, didn't say to stop if the young master falls asleep." Stone hesitated. "But the young master is asleep, what if something happens?" Ahu gritted his teeth. "That's true. It's okay, we've already reduced the monsters to low health. If the young master doesn't react and we don't dodge, it definitely won't hurt a hair on the young master's head. Okay, let's try." Stone also nodded. "Here you go." Ahu exerted force with both arms, tossing the heavy ironclad rhino gently towards the open space at the edge of the bed. Whoosh! A fireball condensed out of thin air, instantly piercing the ironclad rhino with a sharp sound. Ahu and Stone instantly petrified in place. Is he really asleep? Stone was a little unbelievable. "Young master?" Ahu called out tentatively. The voice was not loud. On the big bed, Lin Mo did not respond at all. "Young master?" Ahu raised his voice slightly. Lin Mo frowned slightly, then hugged his pillow, turned over, and continued to sleep soundly. Ahu and Shirtu looked at each other. "He's really asleep." Ahu took a deep breath. His eyes were full of shock. Even his turning over is so natural. This is definitely deep sleep. Amazing. Shirtu trembled with excitement. He lowered his voice and said, "Brother Hu, have you heard of it? Legend has it that some top professionals, in order to pursue the ultimate combat instinct, will deliberately train themselves to fight in their sleep without the need for a conscious mind. They rely entirely on the body and the instinctual reaction of mental power to kill enemies." Who heard this? His brow furrowed slightly, and he said with some hesitation, "This? Sure too. Can our young Master Lin do this kind of ability?" Young Master Lin has only just transitioned to the job. "What do you know?" Shirtu glared at him. He retorted firmly, "Can we compare to young Master Lin? Who is young Master Lin? That's the son of Ling Si Ling. How can a tiger father have a dog son?" Ahu listened. He was stunned for a moment, then nodded heavily. "That's right. After all, he's Si Ling's son. It's reasonable for his talent to be a bit abnormal." The two instantly reached a consensus, and the awe in their eyes deepened. "Then what are we waiting for? Let's get to work. Let's go. Let's go." Chapter 21. Feeling a dangerous aura, Tuan. The next day, Lin Mo turned over groggily. His hand instinctively reached out beside him. Lin Mo slowly opened his eyes. What came into view was a delicate and pretty face. The young woman wearing a black and white lace-made outfit was at the bedside, holding a glass of warm milk in her hand. Seeing Lin Mo wake up, she bowed slightly. "Young master, you're awake." The maid's voice was soft. "You were too tired last night and slept until now. Drink some milk first." Lin Mo sat up, took the milk, and drank it all in one gulp. Then he habitually opened the attribute panel. Name, Lin Mo. Occupation, mage. Level, LV 10%, or is it really the time? So this is the joy of lying flat? Unlike others who are acting strange, I fell asleep and cleared the monsters while sleeping. Lin Mo looked around and found only his personal maid. How strange and warm. Where is everyone else? The maid took the empty cup. She whispered, "Young master, about an hour ago, Captain Ahu and the others stopped clearing monsters because you later fell into a very deep sleep. The monsters thrown over had no effect. Captain Yi was worried about your safety and afraid of disturbing your rest, so they stopped. Now some are guarding outside, and some have gone for a shift break." "Oh, I see." Lin Mo nodded after listening. "It seems that little fireball, that fellow, is also too tired and curled up." Just then, Yi Hongyu also brought Ahu and Shirtu over. The three of them were obviously a little tired, and there was a faint hint of blood in their eyes. "Good morning, young master." "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your hard work." Lin Mo stretched and got out of bed. "I slept too deeply last night. Didn't I cause you any trouble?" No. Young master was in deep meditation. Ahu grinned, looking simple and honest. To be able to maintain that kind of precise killing efficiency in deep sleep, and persist for most of the night, young master, you are simply a god. Lin Mo gave a dry laugh and didn't continue the conversation. Young master, shall we continue practicing? Yi Hongyu glanced at the Special Forces soldiers on standby around her and asked. If you want to continue, I'll have them clear the monsters immediately. Lin Mo heard this and glanced at the skill bar. Fireball status. Sound asleep, drooling. The main output is AFK. Who are we practicing with at this time? Rely on my own manual fireball casting? Don't be ridiculous. It's better to lie in bed and play games to rank up. Forget it, Sister Yi. Lin Mo waved his hand and yawned. Just woke up. My head is still a little warm. Can't react. Let's rest for a while and wake up. Okay. As you wish, young master. Yi Hongyu nodded. At this time, Shi Tu, who was standing next to him, suddenly asked curiously, Young master, now that you are level 10, can you learn a second basic skill? Yesterday I heard Commander Lin say that you wanted to learn the Earth Escape skill. Upon hearing this, Lin Mo also remembered that he could indeed learn the next basic skill at level 10. Yes, life preservation is important. Lin Mo took out the Earth Escape Technique basic skill book that Su Wan gave him yesterday. Ahu, being strong. Su Wan gave the Earth Escape basic skill book. Ahu, being strong. Immediately said, Young master, you finally chose the right skill. It's not just about preserving life, but more importantly, Shi Tu is the only S-rank elemental fusion mage in our special operations team. The only S-rank elemental fusion mage in our special operations team. Ahu nudged Shi Tu with his elbow. Moreover, he is an earth element fusion. Speaking of understanding of the Earth Escape skill, in Jianghai City if Shi Tu claims to be second, few dare to claim to be first. Shi Tu waved his hand repeatedly upon hearing this. Brother who, don't brag. In front of the young master, how dare I call myself an S-rank? The young master is a master of deterrence. I think the young master's mastery of the fireball spell is more exquisite than my Earth Escape skill, which I have practiced for more than 10 years. That is, I just have a little bit of experience. Although he was humble, the confidence in Shi Tu's eyes. As an S-rank Earth-based fusion mage, his perception of the Earth and the construction of defense skills does have a talent that ordinary people cannot match. Okay, brother Shi Tu, don't be so humble. Lin Mo smiled and patted the skill book. Since you are an expert, then I'll have to trouble you to give me some pointers when I learn it later. I don't dare. Young master, please ask whatever you want. I will definitely answer everything I know. Shi Tu was flattered, and Lin Mo was no longer reserved. This is about a skill concerning his own life. The sooner he learns it, the better. Use it. As Lin Mo's thoughts moved, the skill book in his hand turned into specks of light and drilled into his brow. You have learned the basic skill Earth Escape LV1. Earth Escape summons an Earth Elemental Shield. Resist physical and magical damage from the front. As for what skill effects, Lin Mo doesn't care much. What he cares about is whether Earth Escape can talk. Lin Mo tentatively called out in his heart, Little Earth, is anyone there? Hello? 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 Moshi Moshi? The Earth Escape icon in the skill bar didn't have any movement at all. Can't be, Lin Mo frowned slightly. Could it be that little fireball is special? Or maybe, this skill is mute. Seeing Lin Mo spacing out after learning the skill, Shi Tu couldn't help but ask, Young master, how is it? How do you feel? Shi Tu patiently explained as someone who's been through it. Actually, the most difficult thing for earth mages is communicating with earth elements. Fire elements are irritable and active. They ignite with a single spark, but earth elements are naturally calm. To use earth skills well requires extreme patience. It's normal if you don't feel anything since you're just starting. Lin Mo stopped dwelling on it. After all, someone was still in front of him, going on and on imparting their experience. If he didn't respond, it would be a little impolite, right? Oh, I see. So that's how it is. Learned a lot, brother Shi Tu. Seeing Lin Mo's humble attitude, Shi Tu's sense of accomplishment was instantly greatly satisfied. It chuckled and pointed to the open space in front of Lin Mo. Young master, why don't you release Earth Escape here and give it a try? I'll help you take a look. Okay, let's try it then. Lin Mo nodded. Then he stood up. Wow! With the skill being used, the surrounding air vibrated slightly, and a faint tan halo appeared around Lin Mo. Then it condensed into a translucent earth element shield, floating in front of him. It looked like it would fall apart with a gust of wind. Ahu around. Stone was very responsible. He stepped forward and knocked on it. While young master, as a first release, being able to take shape already exceeds 90% of the newcomers. Although he said that what Stone actually wanted to say was, as a blank slate mage with no elemental affinity, being able to release it like this is already very good. But after all, that's the young master, so he speaks more euphemistically, but well, Stone changed his style and began to instruct. The structure here is still too loose. Young master, try to calm down. Don't think about how to defend, but feel the earth under your feet. Imagine you are extracting the rocks and soil under your feet and constantly compressing them. Stack and fill the shield. Stone gestured while using his mental power to guide. Come on, young master, follow my rhythm. Take a deep breath. Feel that sense of heaviness. Lin Mo nodded and followed Stone's guidance. Close your eyes. Although there is no so-called elemental affinity under Stone's mental guidance, that thin shield changed a little. This was also his first time. Release the skill completely autonomously. Wow, the color of the shield visibly deepened. Although it still doesn't look too strong, at least it looks like something. Yes, that's it. Stone's eyes lit up. He couldn't help but clap his hands and applaud. Young master, remember that feeling just now? With this thickness, it is definitely more than enough to withstand the basic fireball attack of the same level. Stone suggested with some eagerness, young master, let's try its actual defense. I'll use the most basic fireball to attack and see. Hearing that he was going to be hit, Yi Hongyu on the side frowned slightly. Stone. Young master has just learned it, and you are already putting him to work? Mother is worried. I was being reckless, just trying out a small fireball to test the defense of this earth shield. It's definitely enough to withstand it. Stone patted his chest and guaranteed with confidence. Seeing him so confident, Yi Hongyu nodded. After all, Stone is considered a veteran mage. He still has this much control. Then Yi Hongyu took Ahu back a few steps. Stone also retreated to a position 10 meters away. Whoosh, in the palm of his hand, a ball of orange-red flame instantly rose. This fireball was indeed not big. Compared to Lin Mo's previous fireball, it was a circle smaller. However, the moment this ball of fire appeared, the Earth Shield Tree icon that had no reaction trembled violently. The Earth Shield Tree sensed a dangerous aura. The Earth Shield Tree let out a pig-slaughtering scream. Not good. There's danger. Don't come over. Chapter 22. Spirit Item, Earth Shield Tree. Lin Mo listened to the pig-slaughtering scream in his mind. He was stunned. Good fellow, so you can talk. It didn't react after shouting for so long, but now its voice is louder than anyone else's. But, danger? What danger? Lin Mo subconsciously glanced at Stone, who was 10 meters away. At this moment, the small fireball in Stone's hand was only the size of a fist. It seemed less powerful than the fireball he released. This thing can be called dangerous? Lin Mo looked at the earth shield in front of him, speechless. This earth shield tree, does it have some misunderstanding of the word danger? However, the earth shield tree in the skill bar not only didn't calm down, but started flashing wildly. Earth shield tree trembling. Too scary. I felt it. That fireball. It's condensing its effect. Master, it will burn you to ashes. The earth shield tree was starting to fantasize due to excessive fear. Thought, a thin shield can't withstand such a terrifying attack at all. It needs to be thicker, harder and more comprehensive protection. Earth shield technique. Desperately extracting earth elements from the depths of the earth. Congratulations. Due to your skill being extremely passive, it has independently deduced and evolved the advanced skill Earth Flow Wall. Earth Flow Wall rises instantly from the ground. Forming a thick wall of earth and stone, it can not only resist frontal damage but also change the terrain. Cooldown time, 5 seconds. Lin Mo looked at the panel. The newly emerged skill introduction made the corner of his mouth twitch a couple of times. What the heck? Extremely passive, comprehended Earth Flow Wall. Before Lin Mo could recover, Shirtu, standing in the distance, asked, Young master, are you ready? Shirtu had a simple and honest smile on his face, patiently explaining, don't be nervous. Take a deep breath and concentrate your mental power on the shield. I'm going to start attacking. Lin Mo glanced at the icon for the new skill, Earth Flow Wall. Then he looked at the harmless mini fireball in Shirtu's hand. His expression was a little strange. I'm ready. I've comprehended the skills. I should be ready, right? Shirtu keenly captured the trace of strangeness on Lin Mo's face. He restrained his smile, and his tone became particularly solemn. Young master, you can put your heart at ease. According to my 10 years of experience as an earth mage, your shield can withstand it 100%. It won't even shake a bit. The main purpose this time is to let you feel the feeling of resisting an attack. Ahu also said happily, that's right, young master. Put your mind at ease. Don't look down on Shirtu as an earth mage, but his control of fireball spells is also top-notch. If he says it's enough, then it's definitely enough. Yi Hongyu stood not far away. Although she didn't speak, she nodded slightly, indicating that Lin Mo could rest assured. Lin Mo only felt a headache. What he was worried about now. It's not whether he will be hurt, but whether you guys will be scared. But there's no explaining it. Lin Mo could only nod. Okay. Come on, Stone bro, I won't dodge, alright? Young master, watch carefully, Stone said as he lightly flicked his wrist. Go. With his soft shout, that orange-red mini fireball shot towards Lin Mo, not fast at the same time. The earth shield tree let out a desperate scream. Ah, it's coming. It's coming. The earth shield tree is extremely panicked. Save me. I'm gonna die, this is a sure kill. The earth shield tree just comprehended a new skill. I don't know if it can block it, I can only try earth shield tree. Vow to protect master how, boom 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 without warning. The ground suddenly began to shake violently, the commotion, like a ground dragon was turning over underground. Crap, Ahu's expression changed, it's an earthquake. Yi Hongyu's pupils also shrank, a dagger appeared in her hand, and she looked around vigilantly. Even Stone was dumbfounded, the next second, in the puzzled gazes of everyone. The ground in front of Lin Mo suddenly burst open, accompanied by a roar in his mind from the earth shield tree. A large amount of mud and rock frantically spewed out from the ground. In the blink of an eye, a reddish-brown earth and stone wall stood between Lin Mo and that mini fireball, not a shield but a wall. A giant rock body that was 5 meters high, 10 meters long, and 2 meters thick. The huge shadow instantly enveloped everyone present, the open space that was still sunny just now. Now it seems to be blocked by a small mountain, and that mini fireball carrying teaching significance. In front of this wall of rock, it seemed so small and helpless, the fireball hit the very center of the earth flow wall. It didn't even leave a trace of scorching, and just went out, leaving only a wisp of faint smoke. Slowly rising in front of the huge wall, it seemed particularly desolate, deathly silence. On the rocky beach, there was no sound except for the whistling of the wind blowing through the earthen walls. This wall, not this wall. Ahu stared blankly at the wall, muttering with Yi Hongyu's hand holding his nose. His eyes were also frozen in mid-air, full of disbelief. As for Stone, he was so surprised that his eyes almost fell to the ground. He looked at the earthen wall like a city wall, and his whole body was messed up in the wind. This earth-type beginner skill earthen wall. He just learned the basic skill and instantly comprehended the beginner skill. However, the key is not this. The key is to use the earthen wall to block his own small fireball the size of a fist. Is this necessary? At the same time, Earth Shield was also relieved. Earth Shield was shivering and expressing gratitude for surviving a disaster. What a close call. It was really too dangerous. He had lingering fears. Just a moment ago, I even felt the countdown to death. That fireball, master. Only less than 10 seconds, Earthshield looked proudly to ask for credit. Master, how is my reaction? Is it full of security? If it weren't for me, you would have died just now and turned into a pile of charcoal. Lin Mo stood behind the thick earthen wall and looked up at this behemoth again. He reached out and touched the wall. The rough and hard texture of the rock even carried the coolness from the depths of the earth. This is indeed very reassuring. But brother, can we have some dignity as a skill? A small fireball the size of a fist, you're acting like it's the end of the world. I'm so embarrassed. Chapter 23, the case is solved. Young Master is the illegitimate child of the god of fire and the god of earth. Fireball spell has a wake-up call. What is this ruckus? Even woke me up. On the panel, the icon of the fireball spell trembled. Fireball spell. Who is making trouble? Get out here now. Before Lin Mo could comfort it, Earthshield was terrified. Master, be careful. There are strange sounds and enemies. Helplessly, Lin Mo sighed. Little Earth, that's your big brother. Fireball tree, it's one of us, it's okay. Hearing this, the tense nerves of the Earth Shield tree relaxed slightly. Earth Shield tree breathed a sigh of relief. That was scary. Turns out it's big brother, the fireball tree finally realized. He suspiciously sized up this new little brother. I have a little brother now? When did this happen? Before he could figure out what was going on. As a fire element, an extremely sensitive being, little fireball's non-existent nose suddenly twitched twice. Fireball tree frowned. Wait, how come there's a faint fire element scent in the air? Fireball tree looked at the wall in front of him. Stunned. What is this thing again? Why is there a mountain in front? Lin Mo patiently explained. Someone just used a little fireball to test the attack. This was made by your newbie little brother to block skills. Hearing this, Fireball tree was silent for 3 seconds, then revealed a confused expression. Fireball tree. Wasted your life focusing on fire elements, and you created such a big wall to block with? Fireball tree looked disgusted. To be scared by this kind of trash. If word gets out, don't say he's my little brother. I can't afford to lose that face. A true powerhouse doesn't need such things. Earth Shield tree weakly retorted, that's because... Don't make excuses. I can't even be bothered to look at this level of attack. Only a good-for-nothing like you would make such a fuss. Earth Shield Tree muttered quietly, I didn't admit you were my little brother. I only have one big brother. And that's the Master, a reckless brute. Fireball Tree. His eyes turned cold. What did you say? Say it again if you dare. Earth Shield Tree, sticking his neck out, I said, Master is the coolest. Alright, everyone, shut up. Listening to the two skills bickering, Lin Mo only felt a headache. Little fire, if you keep arguing, no fire dragon meat for you tonight. As soon as these words came out, the Fireball Tree's icon flickered a few times and then fell silent. Always this trick. How hateful. The Fireball Tree felt humiliated. It was destined to become a quiet and noble existence, but now it was restrained by this piece of meat. Simply a great humiliation. The Fireball Tree felt indignant. If only it had a mouth. Why be restrained by others? When will these days of being dependent on others end? Fireball Tree, status updated muted. Seeing the usually noisy big brother suddenly quiet down, Earth Shield Tree immediately felt that he had chosen the right person. Earth Shield Tree looked admiringly. As expected, Master is amazing. Finally seeing the Fireball Tree quiet down, and one sentence shut that brute up. Lin Mo finally breathed a sigh of relief. The world was finally quiet. Young Master, young Master. At this time, Shirtu's voice came from behind the wall. Are you all right? Lin Mo patted the dust off his body and walked out from behind the earthen wall, looking calm. I'm fine. Brother Shirtu controlled this fireball skill pretty well. It didn't hurt at all. Outside the earthen wall, there was silence. Ahu, Shirtu, and Yi Hongyu were all sizing up the earthen wall in front of them. Goodness! Ahu reached out and touched the rough, thick earthen wall. It was icy cold to the touch and incredibly hard. Shirtu, tell me the truth. Ahu turned to look at Shirtu beside him. How long did it take you to learn this skill back then? Hearing this, a bitter smile appeared on Shirtu's face. If it were before today, he would have proudly stated that he had only learned it 5 days after changing classes. After consuming a skill book, he successfully comprehended it. But now, Shirtu feels a little embarrassed. His voice was as soft as a mosquito's hum. 5 days plus the assistance of consuming an Earthflow wall skill book. Hearing this answer, Ahu and Yi Hongyu revealed a hint of mocking sound. They both knew very well that comprehending a beginner skill in 5 days already meant S-grade elemental affinity. Very fast speed. An S-grade genius used 5 days. And even needed to consume a skill book. But what about young Master Lin Mo, this blank slate? From getting that most basic earth tunneling skill book, to releasing this earth flow wall, all told, it was only 5 minutes, right? He actually used a basic skill book to accidentally figure out an advanced skill. This isn't just a difference in talent, this is simply a difference in species, young master. Shirtu took a deep breath, walked to the earth wall, and knocked on it a few times. This is the earth element's beginner skill, earth flow wall, and judging from the structure it was released perfectly. It can completely block attacks from professionals higher than S-grade. Shirtu looked at this near-perfect earth flow wall, and couldn't help but exclaim, young master, this kind of command and control over earth elements, even if you told me you were the illegitimate son of the earth god, I would believe it. Hearing this, Ahu and Yi Hongyu, standing on the side, not only did not refute but nodded in agreement. Last night, he was the reincarnation of the fire god, and today he's the son of the earth. Case solved. Young master is most likely the illegitimate child of both of them. Facing the gaze of the three, Lin Mo scratched his head embarrassedly. Brother Shirtu, you can't talk nonsense like that. My dad is still at home. Shirtu was stunned for a moment, then quickly waved his hand and smiled amiably. Young master, don't take it seriously. I'm joking. It's purely a joke. He wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and quickly changed the subject, becoming serious. However, young master, this level of defensive skill, although tough, the consumption of mental power is also huge. Shirtu pointed to the earth wall. Zhongxin's long advice said that when facing ordinary attacks, even using basic earth shield techniques, is completely sufficient. Why use an ox knife to kill a chicken? Are you right? That makes sense. Brother Stone is right. I'll be more careful next time and save a bit. Lin Mo nodded, although this skill didn't consume his mental power either. After all, he didn't cast it. Seeing Lin Mo so receptive to advice, Shirtu was also relieved and nodded. Just then, wow. Yi Hongyu's tone trembled. She took out her phone and glanced at it, her brow furrowing instantly. What's wrong, Team Yi? Ahu keenly noticed the change in the captain's emotions, put away the smile on his face. Shirtu also came over, looking nervous. Yi Hongyu stared at the screen and said in a deep voice, Just received news that a large number of wild monsters are gathering towards Sunset Canyon. That's a sign of a monster tide. What? A monster tide? Chapter 24, Monster Tide, Monster Tide. Lin Mo asked curiously, seeing his young master looking blank, sure too beside him. Hurriedly explained, young master, the so-called monster tide, is actually a special spatial anomaly that appears in wild areas. Sure too said, gesturing with his hand as he spoke, this anomaly will attract wild monsters within hundreds of kilometers. They will frantically gather towards the center of the anomaly, and the closer they get to the center, the more violent they become. Their attack desire and attributes will greatly increase. Speaking of this, Shirtu's expression became a bit serious. The most important thing is that when the time comes, a wild boss will randomly refresh near the center point. Therefore, monster tides often represent extreme danger. Ahu also chimed in to add, young master, once monsters enter a 10-kilometer range, their strength will increase significantly. For the safety of wild area professionals, we will also implement a military blockade around the 10-kilometer range. Lin Mo nodded thoughtfully. I see. Just then, the phone in Yi Hongyu's hand vibrated. She glanced at the caller ID and quickly pressed the answer button. Commander. Yes, understood. I'll lead the team over there immediately. Please rest assured, Commander, we guarantee to complete the mission. After a few short sentences, Yi Hongyu hung up the phone. She turned around and scanned the crowd. She said in a deep voice, the commander has ordered us to set off immediately. Head to the Luri Canyon blockade with the young master. Ah, take the young master with us? The monster tide. On the eve of the monster rampage, even though the young master has earth flow wall to protect him, it's still a chaotic battlefield after all. Yeah, Captain Yi, isn't this a bit dangerous? Ahu also hesitated a little, but Yi Hongyu shook her head. With me? With you, with the Special Forces team, what threat could there be? Same as last night, give the order for everyone to beat the monsters until they're almost dead, and then hand them over to the young master to finish off. With this density of monsters, this efficiency of harvesting, perhaps the young master can reach level 15 in one fell swoop today. Hearing this analysis, Ahu and Shirtu looked at each other, instantly understanding. Wow! After all, in this world, the higher the level, the harder it is to level up. Lin Mo is currently level 10. Even with someone helping to lure monsters, based on the normal wild density, he can level up to slightly over level 12 at most in a day. This is already the limit, but this monster tide is different. If harvested properly, he might really reach level 15 in one fell swoop. Yi Hongyu looked at Lin Mo and asked for his opinion. Young master, what do you think? Before Lin Mo could even open his mouth, the Earth Shield skill on the panel began to tremble first. Earth Shield skill shrunk into a ball, trying to dissuade him. Monster tide? Just the name sounds terrifying, master. It's too dangerous. Let's not go. Before the words finished, another violent voice immediately rang out. Fireball spell. Shut up, you good-for-nothing bum. The fireball tree's flames darted around, pointing at the Earth Shield tree. The icon knows. Don't listen to that bastard. Go. Must go. This daddy needs to burn happily. I want to turn that place into a sea of fire. Earth Shield tree weakly retorted. You are being an ostrich. Master safety is the priority. Fireball tree. Scram. The strong are always strong. What kind of skill is it to guard the tail? I think you just need a good burn. Stop, stop, stop. Lin Mo only felt a headache and quickly shouted stop in his heart. Stop arguing. My head is buzzing. Lin Mo looked at Ahu and Shirtu fully armed, and then at the exhausted Yi Hongyu. With this lineup, plus the special operations team and my own, the defense is strong and we have cannons. What danger could there be? Thinking of this, Lin Mo shrugged, with an indifferent expression. I'll listen to Sister Yi. Okay. Yi Hongyu was about to turn around and order the assembly. Lin Mo changed his tone and added earnestly, by the way, bring the bed along too. The air fell silent instantly. He clearly possessed top-tier talent that countless people envied. Yet he brings a bed when leveling up. Should we say the young master is a diligent genius, who even levels up while sleeping, or should we say he's hopeless, a stubborn son who only knows how to enjoy himself? Yi Hongyu took a deep breath and calmly said, young master, rest assured, not to mention bringing a bed. Bringing a house is fine too. Ahu, go arrange the vehicles. Bring the young master's things. Sure too, go assemble the troops. Yes. 2 hours later, a steel torrent grandly drove into the outer area of Luo-Ri Canyon. At this time, the Luo-Ri Canyon, the sky presented an eerie dark red, as if stained with blood. For half of it, A large number of city defense troops are already at various intersections. Pulling up the cordon. The ordinary luxury car Lin Mo was riding in slowly drove into the restricted area. Just after getting out of the car, a crisp voice came from a distance. Young Master Lin. Lin Mo turned his head and saw that not far away, Xia Qingyue was standing there, waving at him. The next moment, Xia Qingyue trotted over. Young Master Lin, are you here to participate in this defense mission? Lin Mo was stunned for a moment and said, well, I guess so. What are you doing here? Xia Qingyue smiled wryly. We were originally practicing in this canyon, but we encountered this monster tide. It is estimated that we were driven out. Lin Mo nodded. Oh, I see. That's about it. He didn't plan to let Xia Qingyue be brave with him here. After all, he and Xia Qingyue are not familiar. Besides, there's more than one place suitable for Xia Qingyue to practice. Just find another place. There's no need to insist on staying. Seeing that Lin Mo had no intention of inviting her, Xia Qingyue didn't feel disappointed. After all, this is normal. He thought about it. Lin Mo a bit. Zhao Yu and that commander father of his, what do they want from you? Xia Qingyue nodded and admitted, they want to buy me off. The Zhao family said, as long as I don't take it too seriously in tomorrow's big exam, and give up the top scorer position to Zhao Yu, they are willing to give me 3 million Dragon Kingdom currency as compensation. Did you agree? Lin Mo asked curiously. Xia Qingyue shook her head, a hint of determination flashing in her eyes. I refused. Why? Is it because you think the money is too little? Lin Mo was a little surprised. Xia Qingyue glanced at Lin Mo, then curled her lips in disgust. It's not about the money. I just can't stand their condescending attitude, especially that Zhao Yu. Not very capable but with a big temper. Speaking of this, Xia Qingyue took a deep breath, her tone becoming particularly serious. More importantly, I know very well who the real powerhouse is, young Master Lin. Instead of trying to please the Zhao family for that little bit of money, I'd rather stand on your side. Even if it's just an attitude, he's very smart. He doesn't want to get involved in the power struggles of wealthy families. But if he has to take sides, having seen Lin Mo's strength, he unhesitatingly chooses to side with him. If he accepts the Zhao family's money at this time, in case young Master Lin thinks he's a money grubber who would backstab his teammates at any time, then the loss would outweigh the gain. The air was silent for a few seconds, then pfft. Lin Mo couldn't help it, and burst out laughing. He couldn't help reaching out and poking Xia Qingyue's forehead. Seriously, are you stupid? You don't take money that's free for the taking? Or are you saying you think you can really get the top spot with your power? Ah! Xia Qingyue was stunned by the poke. Lin Mo shook his head. TSK, he said, these Zhao family people, are they out of their minds? To bribe you? What use are you? Do you really think you led the team through that abyss dungeon yesterday? This, Xia Qingyue opened her mouth, her face flushed red. Although these words were straightforward and piercing, there was nothing wrong with them. The reason why the Zhao family was willing to spend a lot of money to bribe him was purely because he was an A-grade genius. In addition, he cleared the abyss dungeon last night, thinking he led the team to do it. Alright, stop, this NG and that NG. Lin Mo waved his hand, looking as a matter of course. Since they're willing to be suckers, then you should fulfill their wishes. Take the money, and take the exam as you should. Anyway, as long as I don't let go, neither of you will have a chance at the top spot. Xia Qingyue looked at Lin Mo's nonchalant appearance. The last bit of hesitation in her heart also vanished. I understand, young Master Lin. He nodded heavily, then took out his phone and left. Watching Xia Qingyue's leaving figure, Lin Mo nodded with satisfaction. That's right, why make things difficult for anyone? Don't make things difficult with money. Just then, an adjutant walked over quickly. He first saluted Lin Mo, then looked at Yi Hongyu beside him and said in a low voice, Team Leader Yi, Commander Zhao's troops are here too. Their Team Leader Zhang said he wanted to talk to you about something. Team Leader Zhang? Yi Hongyu frowned slightly. Zhang Zhao, 25th Slap Chop Principal. Zhang Zhao? Which deity is this? Lin Mo asked casually. Young Master, Zhang Zhao is Commander Zhao Lei's top squad leader. It's a middle-aged man walking in step. Lin Mo nodded in understanding, which means his status is similar to Yi Hongyu's under their own commander. As the two were talking, Zhang Zhao had already walked closer with two adjutants. This man was thin, with sunken eyes, giving off a gloomy feeling. Team Leader Yi. Long time no see. Zhang Zhao greeted with a fake smile. Last time we met was half a year ago, right? Team Leader Yi is as radiant as ever. Facing Zhang Zhao's greeting, Yi Hongyu didn't even lift her eyelids, her voice cold. Say what you need to say. You also know that a monster tide is about to erupt here. I don't have time to Reminisce with you here. Heh, team leader Yi is still so hot-tempered. Zhang Zhao wasn't annoyed, but his eyes fell on Lin Mo behind him. At this moment, behind Lin Mo, dozens of people were frantically setting up a temporary camp. A familiar large soft bed was placed right in the middle. The accompanying maids were placing fruit plates on the bedside table. Next to the temporary camp, there was also a chef on site, adjusting the roasting oven, preparing to give the young master a wild barbecue. Seeing this scene, the corners of Zhang Zhao's eyes twitched violently. He had seen spoiled young masters practice, and he had seen rich second generations come out to experience life, but moving the entire home directly to the monster tide front line. This is the first time I've seen this. SSSS. Zhang Chao withdrew his gaze. He said to Yi Hongyu, "This must be Commander Lin's son." As expected, he is. It's quite a show. He's a young master from a wealthy family. He can live like he's on vacation even when facing a life-or-death situation like the monster tide. As he spoke, Zhang Chao sneered inwardly. What's the use of levels that are artificially raised? He possesses attributes of a high level. But without the skills and practical combat experience to match, he's just a super soldier. What's more, he's a blank slate mage with no elemental affinity. It's simply a waste of resources. Zhang Chao, if you're not going to use your mouth, I can help you sew it shut. Yi Hongyu said coldly, then a short knife appeared in her hand. No. Team leader Yi, I'm just joking. Zhang Chao raised both hands. In a gesture of surrender, I'm here to discuss something formally. Spit it out, Yi Hongyu said coldly. Zhang Chao restrained his playful demeanor. He pointed to the depths of the canyon in the distance. According to past practice, when facing large-scale disasters like the monster tide, usually we join forces to clear it for maximum efficiency. But this time, the situation is special. Zhang Chao glanced at Lin Mo and then pointed in his own direction. To avoid hurting the peace. It won't look good on anyone's face then. Yi Hongyu said unhappily, So I suggest that we keep to ourselves this time. Zhang Chao drew a line. Taking the central axis of the canyon as the boundary, we are responsible for the western defense area. The monsters over there are mine. Your Lin family is responsible for the east. The monsters over there are yours. We each rely on our own abilities and don't interfere with each other. As for the wild boss that will definitely respawn, Zhang Chao's eyes flashed with greed and he added, whoever finds it first. Whoever touches it first gets it. The other party is not allowed to interfere and snatch it. How about it? Yi Hongyu did not agree immediately upon hearing this. Once people and horses are mixed together, it is easy to develop into a confrontation between two legions if friction occurs in order to grab an elite monster. Moreover, the determination of the boss's ownership is also an unwritten rule in the professional circle, the first hit principle. But young master is here, and she is not qualified to decide on her own. Yi Hongyu turned to look at Lin Mo, inquiring about Master Zhang Chao's proposal. What do you think? Lin Mo didn't think much. The proposal was indeed very normal. Everyone playing their own boss is a fair strength, no problem. It's quite reasonable. Lin Mo nodded. With an indifferent expression, after getting Lin Mo's approval, Yi Hongyu turned around. She said to Zhang Chao, our young master agrees. The west side is yours. The east side is ours. Each boss relies on their own abilities. Now, you can get lost. Zhang Chao achieved his goal. He didn't care about Yi Hongyu's attitude. He glanced at the barbecue grill that Lin Mo's side was setting up, as well as the girl who had turned around and walked towards the big bed. A sense of frustration arose in his heart. This kind of young master who is coddled, even if he levels up to 100, is still a useless person. Then I won't disturb young Master Lin's enjoyment. Zhang Chao shook his head and turned to leave with his adjutant. On the other side, Zhao family's defense camp, unlike the relaxed atmosphere on Lin Mo's side. The atmosphere here was solemn. Hundreds of soldiers were on high alert. Zhao Yu was sitting in a chair. Closing his eyes to rest, the phone placed aside vibrated. Zhao Yu opened his eyes, answered the phone, and said. A respectful voice came from the other end of the phone. Young Master Zhao, it's done. Xia Qingyue has accepted the 3 million, and promised not to compete with you for the top spot in the big exam. Hearing this news, the corner of Zhao Yu's mouth curled up into a contemptuous arc. Got it. He casually hung up the phone and threw it aside. A teammate sitting next to Zhao Yu disdainfully said, he was acting so aloof before, but now he still accepted the money. What a joke. So fake. Tsh. Zhao Yu snorted coldly, a hint of disdain on his face. My dad just does too much, insisting on spending unnecessary money, even if Xia Qingyue leads the team to clear the Abyss dungeon. So what? In the end, she's just an A-grade water mage. Zhao Yu's face was full of displeasure. Although his family wasn't short of money, he always felt like his family was being taken advantage of. even for the same level of Abyss Dungeon. And the same difficulty, the actual difficulty has a significant difference. It's obvious that the actual difficulty of the so-called Abyss Dungeon must be very low. Otherwise, how could an A-rank water mage lead a team to clear it? Just because his theoretical and practical scores before job change have always been the best in the school. What a joke. The gap between professions cannot be made up for by these scores. That's right. The teammate next to him immediately echoed, in my opinion, the dungeon must be too simple. When it comes to output, how can anyone compare to young Master Zhao? This S-rank flame mage, young Master Zhao's multi-blast fireball can even split into 5. This talent, Zhang Hai, is unmatched. Zhang Zhao bowed slightly to Zhao Yu. We've already negotiated with the Lin family. The west side is ours, and the east side is theirs. As for the boss, we'll follow the first touch principle. Whoever touches it first gets it. Zhao Yu chuckled and nodded. By the way, what's the situation with Lin Mo over there? Mentioning this, Zhang Zhao said speechlessly, what is he doing now? That young master of the Lin family should be lying in bed playing with his maid right now. Bed? Zhao Yu was stunned. Isn't it? He brought his bed over. Zhang Zhao shook his head. A coward and more than just a maid. Even the chef came. He even set up a barbecue grill. Judging from his posture, it's as if he's here on vacation. Compared to young Master Zhao's professional dedication, the gap is too big. Haha. Zhao Yu hadn't said anything yet. Several teammates around couldn't help but laugh. This young master of the Lin family. Is his brain sick? Why doesn't he just move his whole house here? Does he really think that having a high level means he can do whatever he wants? No skills, no practical experience. He's nothing. He's a young master from a wealthy family, all about enjoying life. Listening to his teammates' mockery, Zhao Yu shook his head helplessly, his disdain growing stronger. You can't say it like that, Zhao Yu said calmly, although he is a blank slate mage. But relying on level suppression, getting into the top 10 isn't impossible. Speaking of this, Zhao Yu couldn't help but feel a little emotional. Once upon a time, before the class change, he had always regarded Lin Mo as his biggest competitor. After all, their families were comparable, and their fathers were both city defense commanders wielding great power. From childhood to adulthood, the two of them were always compared by the outside world. At that time, although Lin Mo looked lazy, his theoretical grades and practical grades were always very close, always neck and neck. But now, Lin Mo is completely useless. He is destined to be admitted to a top university. From then on, he will have a meteoric rise. From the moment of the class change, they were no longer people of the same world. Since they are not on the same path, why bother treating him as an opponent? That would be an insult to his S-grade talent. Chapter 26, Elemental Perception. In the center of the Lin family's temporary camp, Lin Mo leaned back comfortably on a soft bed, with 2 soft latex pillows behind him. Young master, the iced amethyst grapes just arrived by air. I've already peeled them for you. Have a taste. Beside him, a maid-like young lady was kneeling by the bed, holding a crystal-clear grape. She gently brought it to Lin Mo's lips. Lin Mo opened his mouth and took the grape. Not bad. Sweet. As he spoke, Lin Mo casually took out a few 100 yuan Dragon Kingdom bills. A hint of surprise flashed in the maid's eyes. Thank you, young master. You are so kind, young master. From now on, I'll peel grapes for you every day. Lin Mo felt the soft touch on his arm, and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Decadent, so damn decadent. This damn capitalist decadence. Really want to vomit. Suddenly, the tree trembled wildly. Master, I feel it's still too dangerous. There's food, drink, and beautiful women here. There are still monsters to kill. How is this paradise? Why is it like this? Tutuin tree, but alright, little Tutu. Before the Tutuin tree could speak, Lin Mo comforted. Put your heart at ease. Everyone here is on my side. A mere monster horde is not worth mentioning. Just then, Yi Hongyu strode over, followed by Stone and Ajian, seeing Lin Mo leisurely eating grapes. The three also had no objections. After all, in their hearts, Lin Mo's talent is unprecedented. In this world, strength represents everything. The truly strong, their talent and strength give them composure and confidence. The young master's current leisurely and enjoyable posture, in their eyes, is not the laziness of a stubborn young master, but a confidence stemming from absolute talent. Young master, Yi Hongyu bowed slightly, reporting with a serious expression, the reconnaissance unit has just sent back the latest intelligence. As she spoke, Yi Hongyu opened the electronic map in her hand. Young master, according to detection, wild monsters within a radius of hundreds of kilometers are gathering here. The level of monsters surging in is between LV-10 and LV-40. There are many types. The first to arrive will be the first level wild monsters in the nearby area, ranging from level 1 to level 10. Following them will be some big guys, such as LV-25 Berserk Giant Bear, LV-30 Giant Poisonous Flying Snake. Speaking of this, Yi Hongyu paused and drew a circle on a region of the map. What can be determined at present is that the last to arrive is this area, LV-35 to LV-40 Thundercloud Storm Eagle. This is from the Northern Thundercloud Wind. Advanced flying magical beast, extremely fast, and possessing thunder attribute ranged attack methods. It will be relatively difficult to deal with. When they appear, the boss should also refresh. The stone next to him then stepped forward and added, Young Master. The experience points gained from killing wild monsters that are more than 10 levels higher than your own will start to decline. Sure too calculated with his fingers, that is to say, when those LV-25 or higher, especially those LV-40 Storm Eagles, come along, the experience points you get from killing them are actually minimal. The cost-performance ratio is extremely low, and sure too predicts Young Master. Finally, he said euphemistically, moreover, with monsters of that level, after all, the level gap is there. It's difficult for you to deal effective damage. Speaking of which, Yi Hongyu took over, helping you quickly level up by picking up some scraps, but in the later stage, when high-level flying monsters appear, our primary task is to directly kill them, to ensure your absolute safety. Lin Mo nodded thoughtfully after listening. Indeed, the level gap of the final flying magical beasts is too high. Forcibly doing it is indeed very dangerous. The level gap is there. Even if only a sliver of health remains, you may not be able to break through the defense to reap the reward. Okay, I'll listen to you. Safety first. Lin Mo had no objection. Yi Hongyu paused and spoke again, Young Master. This time, in addition to these monster waves, the most critical thing is the wild boss that will definitely respawn. According to the measurement data from the headquarters, the level of the boss that respawns this time should be between level 25 and 40. Even if there is experience point decay, if you take all the experience points of the entire boss by yourself, that's still a very considerable number. As long as we can find it before the Zhao family and take it down first, then your level could very likely reach level 16, or even level 17. After hearing this, Lin Mo's eyes lit up. According to the professionals who participated in the grand examination in previous years, most of their levels are around level 10, and a few can reach level 13 to 15. If I can reach level 16, then it can be said that I will stand out from the crowd in the examination hall. So how do we find this boss? Lin Mo asked curiously. Yi Hongyu explained, under normal circumstances. Indeed, it can only depend on luck or carpet bombing, but it also depends on the boss's attributes. If it turns out to be a boss that breathes, then Stone, as an S-grade breath essence and mage, can sense it immediately and lock its position. Similarly, if it is fire type, Zhao Yu from the Zhao family can also sense it. So this is not only about strength but also about luck. Lin Mo suddenly understood. So it's about elemental induction? Then, does that mean my blank mage can only be blind? No, Lin Mo subconsciously glanced at his skill Little Fireball. Although that guy has a bad temper. But this sensing ability seems to be more sensitive than a dog's nose. And that useless little earth. In order to save his life, his sensitivity to the surrounding environment has reached a perverted level. If it really depends on induction, I don't seem to be that weak. Just then, an adjutant ran over quickly and reported, Captain Yi, the first batch of monster nests, has arrived 3 kilometers away. It mainly consists of prairie wolves within a reasonable range. Yi Hongyu's expression turned stern. She instantly entered a state of combat. She turned around and ordered Ah Hu and Stone and others. Act according to the original plan. Stone, you take a team to the east side. Ah Hu, you take people to the west side. I'll stay here to protect the young lady. If you find any trace of the boss, send a signal immediately. Yes. We guarantee the completion of the mission. Everyone shouted in unison and then left quickly. The originally slightly crowded camp instantly only had Lin Mo and a few personal maids left, as well as Yi Hongyu. Yi Hongyu didn't say much and directly drew out her short knife. She walked to the front of the camp entrance and began to fight, waiting for her subordinates to send the low-health monsters over. Fireball spell couldn't hold back any longer and let out an excited roar. Finally, it's coming. So cool. I had a great time killing last night. Today, there are so many monsters lining up to die, and there's a big meal to eat. This is what life is. Fireball spell felt that he was simply the happiest skill in the world. Becoming a forbidden spell is just around the corner. This wave, following the right person, the earth shield spell trembles to the side. Madman, what a madman, so many monsters. What if they break through the defense? Fireball scoffs. What do you know? Slaughter is a stepping stone to evolution, little fire. Since it's so great, then call me daddy and let me hear it. Lin Mo at this time. Again, the thought of teasing little fireball arose. The fireball spell froze instantly. The fireball spell is actively struggling inside. That's too much. Didn't you call me that last night? I also have dignity. Oh, you have dignity? Lin Mo thought for a moment and said, how about stir-fried shredded potatoes with heart tonight? It's been a long time since I've had it. Earth shield spell. Overjoyed. Hooray. I like potatoes. Fireball spell. After 2 seconds, a voice with some humiliation came. Fireball spell. Daddy, daddy. Chapter 27. It's not easy to change jobs these days. West side of Sunset Canyon, Zhao family housing area. Several LV-8 wolf-shaped monsters roared and pounced on Zhao Yu. Zhao Yu looked stern and skillfully pulled away. The staff in his hand shone brightly red. The fire element was operating at full power at this moment. Multiple burst fireballs with his low growl. The staff waved violently. Whoosh! A huge fireball. Instantly split in the air, turning into 5 fireballs the size of human heads, accurately hitting those demon wolves. Boom boom, boom boom boom. 5 loud explosions rang out almost simultaneously. Those monsters didn't even have time to scream. They were blown to pieces, charred, and their bodies flew everywhere. Beautiful. Zhao Yu's 5-in-a-row explosion is simply masterful. The teammate next to him immediately flattered him. As expected of Zhao Yu not long after changing jobs. He can already stably split into 5 fireballs. This output efficiency is terrifying. Zhao Yu panted slightly, taking out a bottle of blue mana potion from his waist. He tilted his head back and drank it. Even for an S-rank powerhouse, frequent use of advanced skills like this resulted in a huge consumption of mental power and mana, but he enjoyed this feeling. Sweat dripped down his cheeks, and mana surged within his body. This was proof of becoming stronger. Just then, a vice officer in charge of reconnaissance quickly ran over. Zhao Xiao. Zhao Yu wiped the sweat from his forehead and casually asked, how's Lin Mo doing? In the deepest part of Zhao Yu's heart, he still didn't want to believe that Lin Mo would completely degenerate like this. After all, he was an opponent who had always been compared to him since childhood. Even if Lin Mo awakened a blank skill, he couldn't possibly not understand that having only level without practical combat skills was completely useless. The vice officer's expression was strange. He hesitated for a moment. Still, he reported truthfully, reporting, Zhao Xiao, Lin Mo is also lying on the bed. It seems he's watching a movie. There's also a maid feeding him fruit. I can't see anything else. Later, a wall of earth suddenly appeared, blocking it. I can only see continuous afterimages. A wall of earth inside which monsters were thrown. Zhao Yu was confused. Guess it's the handiwork of that stone. This security measure is too exaggerated, isn't it? The air froze for a few seconds, and then Zhao Yu let out a snort. He shook his head. Useless. Utterly useless. Zhao Yu slammed his staff heavily on the ground and said coldly, and here I was, actually considering him an opponent before, and even trying to surpass him. Thinking about it now. Treating someone like him as an opponent is simply an insult to me. Disgusting. So fucking disgusting. Speak. Zhao Yu stopped paying attention to that side situation. The fighting spirit in his eyes intensified instead. Too slow. Eating a little monster is not enough for me to kill. What about the next wave? Bring them all over. I want to fight 10. I want to fight 10. Fireball spell roared with extreme dissatisfaction. 1? You are only throwing 1 monster over? Are you insulting this lord? East side of Sunset Canyon, the Lin family camp, where 3 towering and heavy earthen walls are erected. Like a fortress, it surrounds Lin Mo inside the fortress. Lin Mo is lying on his side, holding a glass of iced watermelon juice, with a maid holding a tablet next to him. A comedy movie is playing on it. Glug glug. Lin Mo took a sip of watermelon juice. Very comfortable. On top of the 5-meter-high earthen wall, Yi Hongyu, a warrior with a straight posture, is vigilantly guarding the surroundings from a high position. Young master, monsters are coming. Yi Hongyu reminded everyone that as soon as Hannah's voice trailed off, the wasteland demon wolf with a broken leg, who had been interrupted, stirred, was forcefully thrown in from outside the wall by Ahu. Humph! Fireball spell burst out and instantly killed it. Fireball spell. Protested. The agreement was to fight 10. What's the point of just 1 at a time? Lin Mo sighed helplessly. He shouted to the top of the wall, Sister Yi, throw more, like 10 or so at a time. Yi Hongyu was slightly stunned. She hadn't witnessed Lin Mo's multiple violent fireballs. Even last night, because the monster distribution wasn't dense enough, basically only 1 or 2 were sent over. Although the young master is mighty and invincible, this number is extremely dangerous once it gets out of control. It's okay, just throw them. Lin Mo waved his hand and said casually, I'll take responsibility if anything happens. Yi Hongyu tensed up. At worst, she would be more careful. In an instant, when he instantly killed more than a dozen low-level monsters, she still had Yi Hongyu shouted to the people outside the wall. Throw 15 together. Outside the wall, more than a dozen subordinates were stunned for a moment, and then exerted force at the same time. Whizzing, a full 15 of them, half dead. Various wild monsters crossed the high earthen wall and headed towards the right side of the big bed, falling into the open space. Yi Hongyu, standing on the top of the wall, slightly gripped the hilt of her knife, her muscles tensed. Once the young master couldn't handle it, she must descend from the sky to clear the field, but, in the next second, an orange-red fireball roared out, and at the moment of flying out, the fireball vibrated violently and instantly disintegrated and split in the air. 1, 5, 10. 15, densely packed small fireballs accurately locked onto every monster still in the air. Boom, 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 multiple burst fireballs. Yi Hongyu, standing on the wall, had the most shocking perspective at this moment. She watched the 15 fireballs with her own eyes, like independent conscious tracking missiles, crisscrossing and shuttling in the air. Yi Hongyu stared blankly at the monster group that was precisely killed in one wave. Stunned, comprehending multiple burst fireballs is one thing, but splitting into 15 at once. As far as she knows, Zhao Yu from the Zhao family can split into at most 4 or 5. And that's already spread throughout Jianghai City, to the point where everyone knows it. Could it really be my young master? Yi Hongyu muttered to herself. This composure, this talent, that so-called S-class from the Zhao family isn't even worthy of carrying shoes for the young master. She lowered her head and her eyes fell on Lin Mo below through the curling smoke. Under the firelight, Lin Mo still maintained that extremely inadequate lying posture. Looking at the tablet screen held by the maid, he seemed to be completely unmoved by the 15-kill streak just now. This is the demeanor of a strong person, not changing face even when Mount Tai collapses in front. Fireball spell. Laughing to the sky. Awesome. So awesome. Fireball spell. One is not enough. This is the style that I should have. The art of that explosion just now was simply perfect. Again. Earth escape spell. Don't. Please don't. Really don't. So many monsters at once. What if one leaks through? Master, I still think it's too dangerous. Fireball spell. Instant rage, dangerous master. How about we have fewer monsters at once? Fireball spell shivered as it was being abandoned, looking at its own skill bar. They were about to fight. Lin Mo sighed helplessly and came out to mediate. Alright, stop arguing, Little Earth. You have to trust your big brother's strength. He may be busy, but he's still meticulous. Little Fire, you should also restrain yourself a bit. Don't scare your little brother. He's doing this for my own good. Earth Shield spell. Fireball spell. TCH. On the skill bar, the two icons right next to each other. Each turned to the left and right, ignoring each other. Lin Mo's mouth twitched involuntarily. It's not easy being a dad these days. He even has to be responsible for mediating relationships between skills. Chapter 28. Are you stupid? You can burrow into the ground. Time passed quickly, and the sky in Sunset Canyon became increasingly dim. Young master, prepare. Along with Stone's loud shout, a dozen black shadows were thrown in from outside the earthen wall. Boom, boom, boom. The wall was ablaze with fire, explosion sounds. Rose and fell one after another. After a moment, everything returned to silence. Stone wiped the sweat from his forehead, stood on the wall, and glanced at the leisurely Lin Mo. His eyes were full of admiration. Young master's talent is simply unmatched. He leaned against Yi Hongyu, who was on guard next to him. Turns out he's lazy, but he still has the drive. He knows to practice more before the big exam, and his safety awareness is extremely high. Stone touched the thick earthen wall beneath his feet. Even with us here, he still immediately put this earthen wall up. Yi Hongyu nodded in agreement. Young master's caution is right. In the wild, caution is sometimes more important than strength. Young master's talent, this life will surely be a great success in the future. Just as the two were chatting and sighing, an adjutant in charge of outer reconnaissance ran hurriedly from a distance. Team Yi, the adjutant panted, his speech extremely fast. Thundercloud stormwing swarm detected, a huge number. They blot out the sky, already 5 kilometers away. They're finally here. Shirtu looked at the sky with thunderous eyes, ascending to, this is the last wave of the monster tide. According to the pattern, after this wave flies by, that wild boss should be refreshing soon. Yi Hongyu's eyes flashed as she addressed the surrounding soldiers. Immediately issued the order. Everyone, listen up. Deal with this wave of monsters. No need to cripple them, kill them directly. Be sure to protect the young master's safety. Yes. Dozens of soldiers responded in unison. After saying that, Yi Hongyu turned her head again, looking at Lin Mo inside the earth wall. Young master. The last wave, the thundercloud stormwings, is about to arrive. The level of this wave of monsters is generally above LV35. The level difference is too big. Experience point reduction is severe, and with your current level, it is extremely difficult to break their defenses and reap the rewards. Don't take action in this wave, just rest assured and leave it to me. Lin Mo listened. He looked up at the dark cloud-covered sky in the distance and could faintly hear the sound of thunder. Approaching, he opened the panel and glanced at his level. LV 15% 12. This afternoon's crazy harvesting has made the experience bar grow rapidly. Okay, I'll listen to Sister Yi. Lin Mo nodded very readily. Hearing the young master being so obedient, Yi Hongyu also breathed a sigh of relief. Just at this moment, the Earth Shield skill on the skill bar began to stir restlessly. Earth Shield was trembling. Earth Shield looked at the unobstructed sky above and fell into great anxiety. Earth Shield said with a crying voice, "Although we have walls here, we don't have a roof. What if they attack from above?" Earth Shield. Anxiously, "Master, let's run away. It's not safe here, really not safe." Before Lin Mo could appease it, Fireball spell just starts spraying, Fireball spell. Disdainful, run? So what if the level is high? As long as you dare to fly in, I'll burn one, a pair, I'll burn a pair. Earth Shield spell. Despair. You only know how to brag. Those are monsters above level 35. We are only level 15. Okay. Lin Mo's head hurts from the noise, and he has to come forward to mediate. Everyone, be quiet. Little 2, Sister Yi and the others are guarding outside. Just a few birds. They can't get in. We can't leave yet. There's still a boss. About to respawn. The boss's experience points are quite a lot. Earth Shield spell is still muttering. But the top of my head is really empty. What if one slips through? I'm so flustered. Lin Mo rolled his eyes. Fortunately, he stopped paying attention to this annoying thing and closed his eyes to rest. Accompanied by sharp and piercing cries, a large dark cloud swept in from the depths of the canyon. Looking closely, it was tens of thousands of giant eagles with wingspans exceeding 3 meters. Their feathers are brownish-gray, and as their wings move, arcs of electricity jump in the shadows. Here they come. Originally, the ranged classes were preparing to release skills. "Take them down for me." Yi Hongyu stood on the wall and immediately gave the order. At that moment, the long-prepared, ranged classes attacked simultaneously. Multi-shot arrows, exploding arrows, wind blade spell, ice spike. For a moment, the colorful skill brilliance illuminated the dark sky as bright as day. Boom, boom, boom. Skills collided with the monster swarm. Bursts of dazzling smoke exploded in the sky. Countless thundercloud storm eagles were hit by skills in the air, but the number of these flying magical beasts is really too many. Moreover, they are not like the ground monsters, only knowing how to charge mindlessly. They circled in the air, dived, and used their agile positions, dodging the skills below while spitting out thick thunderbolts from his mouth. Counterattacking, relying on quantity. There are too many. Ahu stood on the silver earth wall, constantly drawing his bow and shooting arrows, wary of any possible threats to the young master that might slip through the net. However, the number was simply too large. Faced with this all-round, three-dimensional offensive, a gap still appeared in the defense line. Gah! An elite-level storm eagle, enormous in size and surrounded by a dense aura of lightning, relied on its abnormal speed to barely dodge 3 wind blades and a bursting arrow. Its wings shook. Although it suffered minor injuries, it fiercely broke through the outer firepower blockade and went straight for Lin Mo's bed. "Young master, be careful." Yi Hongyu was dealing with 2 storm eagles flanking from the side. The color of her face changed drastically at the sight of Yu Guangjian. However, it was already too late to turn around and provide assistance. "Elite Storm Eagle is coming." I knew it was unsafe overhead. Lin Mo was calm. With so many big shots around him, he really didn't believe that this beast could touch a single hair on his head. Shidu's eyes widened on the tree, not allowing it to hurt his young master. His whole body's magic power surged. Die! A stone cone as thick as a bowl, with wind power, drilled out from the ground, directly piercing towards the storm eagle flying down. The stone cone pierced through his chest, nailing him to death in midair like a lamb skewer. A stone cone as thick as a bowl, with wind power, heading towards the storm eagle flying down. The stone cone pierced through his chest, nailing him to death in midair like a lamb skewer. Fresh blood dripped slowly down the stone cone. Shirtu, gasping for breath, wiped the gray off his face, turned his head and grinned at Lin Mo. Young master, didn't scare you, did I? Lin Mo gave a thumbs up, Shitaji steady. The crisis was resolved, but that potentially fatal sense of oppression was deeply etched in Tundan Shu's heart. The earth shield tree shuddered, traumatized. Too scary, the earth shield tree muttered. Just a little bit away, just that little bit. What if that big oaf was a second slower? The earth shield tree fell into deep self-doubt. What's the point of high walls? Lin Mo is like a torch, what to do? But wind top. The earth shield tree was on the verge of tears. The principle of the earth flow wall is to guide the earth vein energy to erupt vertically. Wanting the earth and rocks to turn 90 degrees horizontally in midair with wind top is so hard. Fireball spell sneered, you're not just a useless thing, you're also trash. Lin Mo was speechless listening to the earth shield tree's muttering. He casually retorted, are you stupid? Can't wind top it? Might as well burrow underground. The earth shield tree was suddenly stunned. The earth shield tree had an epiphany. That's right. Chapter 29. Young master fell underground. Lin Mo's heart skipped a beat. No, little earth, calm down. I'm just casually suggesting. The earth shield tree was overjoyed. Heavens, master is simply a genius. How didn't I think of that? As long as I burrow into the ground, who can hurt master? Earth shield tree is frantically analyzing the structure of the earth. Earth shield tree, as long as I change the density of the surrounding earth elements, liquefy the hard rock to form a quicksand-like texture, seeing the earth shield tree, has entered the realm of all things. Lin Mo sat up straight abruptly. Little earth, listen to me, I need oxygen. There's no oxygen underground. People will die, you know? Lin Mo tried to reason with this one who was entering the realm of all things. It's dark and damp underground, and there might be bugs. So comfortable staying here. Lin Mo didn't want to hide underground. However, the earth shield tree's current state is completely deaf to Lin Mo's words. In its view, master's words are just some more enlightening advice. Perhaps, oxygen, just need to prop up an independent space. Come to the surface for a while to replenish oxygen. The earth shield tree shields external interference, allowing you to fully devote yourself to the skill's evolution. Bad thing? Lin Mo's lips couldn't help twitching a few times. Congratulations. Your skill, Earth Shield Tree, is extremely insecure and has successfully evolved into an Earth type. Advanced skill, Earth Walk, Advanced Stage. Earth Walk allows you to merge into the earth and move freely underground, and can carry objects within a certain range to travel together. The stronger the mental power, the longer the duration. Cooldown time, 15 minutes. Earth Shield Tree. Laughing wildly. Ha ha ha. Master is too awesome. Foreign words awaken the dreamer. Worthy of being my master. As soon as these words fell, wow, Lin Mo only felt a softness under his body. The original solid ground became soft and flowing in that instant. That custom-made big bed began to sink downward at an alarming rate. The maid kneeling beside him was completely dumbfounded at this time. She watched her young master, along with the bed, being swallowed up as if by a huge beast. Young master. The maid subconsciously reached out to grab him, but grabbed nothing. Lin Mo only had time to glance at the quickly shrinking sky above him and the maid's terrified face. What the heck? Whoosh! The soil rolled and instantly closed up. The ground returned to its flat state, as if nothing had happened. At the same time, on top of the 5-meter-high earth wall, Yi Hongyu backhanded a slash, beheading an approaching flying beast. The thundercloud storm in the sky had been cleared up considerably. Just then, Shirtu suddenly shuddered. He lowered his head, staring at the ground beneath his feet. An unusually heavy wave emanated from deep underground. As an S-class Earth-type mastery mage, Shirtu was too familiar with this kind of fluctuation. This feeling, right? This pure Earth element fluctuation. No mistake. This time, the field boss is Earth-attributed. Shirtu nodded heavily, full of certainty. Do you know the specific location? Yi Hongyu immediately followed up, Shirtu, pointing to the ground under his feet, Earth attribute boss. Before refreshing, it will frantically extract the earth vein energy, causing the earth element to flow underground, forming a huge vortex just like a vortex on the water surface. Just follow the flow of earth elements underground. Find the center of that vortex. That's where the boss refreshes. Yi Hongyu listened, thought for a moment, and asked, "Your earth stealth. Can I bring you along?" "Okay, it's settled then." Yi Hongyu nodded. "It's just a small boss. Bringing the young master along. He and Shirtu can easily beat the boss to low health, leaving it for the young master to finish off. This time, getting the boss is a must." The two turned around at the same time. The next moment, the two froze at the same time. Where's young master? Such a big bed, such a big living person? Yi Hongyu's face changed drastically. Her figure flashed, directly jumping off the 5-meter-high wall and landing in front of that maid. Where did the young master go? Yi Hongyu's voice carried a rare hint of anxiety. This is the heavily guarded inner camp. How could someone possibly, under her watch, kidnap the young master? The maid finally came back to her senses after Yi Hongyu's roar. She pointed to the flat ground in front of her and said tremblingly, young master, she fell down there. Shirtu, who had just jumped down, was stunned when he heard this. How did she fall down? There's no pit here. The maid tried to organize her words, gesticulating as she spoke. Just now, the soil suddenly became like water. The young master, along with the bed, whoosh, just like that, fell down. Then the ground closed up by itself. Shirtu and Yi Hongyu looked at each other, seeing the shock in each other's eyes. The soil became like water and went into the ground without leaving a hole? That description, why does that sound so familiar? This is Earthwalk. Shirtu cried out in a wet voice, squatting down suddenly, pressing both hands on the ground where Lin Mo disappeared. Sensing the traces underground, Shirtu suddenly raised his head after a few seconds. Like seeing a ghost, Team Yi, it really is Earthwalk. Shirtu swallowed. He only felt his worldview collapsing. Within a day, first he comprehended Earth Flow Wall, followed immediately by comprehending Earthwalk. What kind of monster is this? Even more shocking to Shirtu was that the big bed was custom-made from solid wood, weighing at least 300 or 400 kilograms. As an old Earth-type mage, he could only carry 120 kilograms at a time. Young Master Lin just comprehended it and directly took the big bed down with him. However, there was something even more shocking to Shirtu. That was that the young master had already infiltrated the ground before him. What did this mean? It meant that the young master's elemental perception range was far beyond his, an S-level Earth-type mage. Before he could even react, the young master had already perceived the Earth-type boss's refresh and conveniently comprehended Earthwalk. Infiltrating the ground alone. The most crucial thing was that the young master even thought that this wild boss was too weak. He could solo it with a bed. Too crazy, too confident. Is this the arrogance of a top genius? Stop daydreaming. Yi Hongyu snapped back to reality, interrupting Shirtu's thoughts. Quick, take me with you to follow him. The young master is invaluable. Ah, right. Team Yi, hold on tight. Oh. A brownish-yellow light shone, and the soil beneath their feet softened instantly. Shirtu plunged into the ground with Yi Hongyu. Chapter 30. Worthy of being my young master. This is the demeanor of a strong person. On the other side, on the western side of Sunset Canyon at the Zhao family's defensive line, Zhao Yu used a fireball spell to kill a pangolin that was sneaking up from the side, looking somewhat anxious. She looked around, as if searching for the boss. Time was almost up. The boss should be about to respawn, but she couldn't sense anything. It doesn't seem to be fire attribute. Just then, a middle-aged adjutant rushed over from afar. Young Master Zhao. Something's up. Zhao Yu's eyes narrowed. He knew this adjutant. He's an A-rank Earth-type mage. What's wrong? Did you sense the boss? The adjutant didn't bother wiping his sweat, his tone urgent. I sensed it. Just now, a terrifying surge of Earth element energy came from deep underground. Young Master Zhao, the S-rank Earth mage from Linjiang, should have sensed it even earlier than us. We have to hurry. Zhao Yu heard this, and his heart skipped a beat. If he was a step late, the boss's massive experience points wouldn't be his. If that good-for-nothing young Master Lin Mo, who's here on vacation, takes the experience points, I'd probably be disgusted for 3 days. I just hurried back to, my Earth travel can carry about 80 kilograms of items. Bringing the young master is no problem. The adjutant didn't dare to delay and immediately cast his skill. Wow! Yellowish-brown light enveloped the two. The ground softened, and Zhao Yu and the adjutant's figures instantly disappeared into the ground. At this moment, deep underground, Lin Mo was already dizzy. If skills had physical form, fireball spell would probably be kicked to a pulp. The original luxurious soft bed now resembled a small, out-of-control sampan, tossing wildly in the raging earth element torrent. Soil and rocks, at their fastest, swept past the shield like flowing liquid. Slow down. Are you trying to reincarnate me? Lin Mo clung tightly to the bed's railing, feeling completely disoriented, his stomach churning. Lin Mo didn't understand how the peaceful vacation mode had turned into a journey to the center of the earth in the blink of an eye. Fireball spell furiously roars. Can you drive? This one's brains are about to be shaken senseless. Fireball spell points at the rocks ahead. Are you blind? Can't you see such a big rock? You crashed into it. Damn. You crashed into it again. Fireball spell. What a crappy car. Making this one ride in such a crappy car. Damn. Turn. Earth escape spell in extreme panic. I don't want to either. There's a huge suction force. If it keeps pulling us, I can't control it. Thump, a muffled sound. Luxury bed. Colliding with a hard granite layer. Lin Mo only feels like crying. I told you long ago. Don't come down. Don't come down. You didn't listen. Now look what's happened. Where are they driving to? Earth escape spell. Feeling wronged. Woo, master. I also didn't expect. The bottom would be like this. That suction force is too strong, like it wants to suck us somewhere. Just then, the originally narrow dirt tunnel ahead suddenly opens up. A huge underground undercurrent instantly wraps around this big bed, crazily surging upwards. Earth escape spell in panic. Master, get ready. I feel like we're about to take off. Take off your ass. Lin Mo shouts, wrapping himself in the blanket, accompanied by a loud noise. Dirt bursts open, falling into a flat area in the canyon, the originally flat ground, instantly bulging into a big lump, then exploding like a volcano.